All right. All right. I need everyone to turn off your camera. I'm gonna start this on because whenever David turns his camera on first, this is why I realized why the cameras get fucked up. Let's see if this is true. All right, mine's first. David, go ahead. Okay, and Kels. Yeah, there you go. Fucking figured it out. Thank you, Lord.
What the fuck?
Now you're muted, David.
All right, test.
Yep, there we
Oh, there
are.
he is.
The fuck? My audio literally didn't change.
Welcome
You
this
know
work.
that episode of South Park with the Dookie in the urinal?
Yeah.
We had that happen at my school, except someone was shitting on the floor.
I'm glad you didn't say
Hell
work.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say work for a second. I was gonna be really bummed out for you.
No, not yet. There are some people that just fucking like overstuff the toilet and like flush it to flood the back. Like, come on, we're all adults here. What the fuck are you doing?
Do you remember
I
that?
do not know how to wipe your ass.
You guys ever remember that? There's always that one kid in the school growing up where when they went to the urinal, they dropped their entire pants.
I had this dude I knew in school. He would do that, but like ironically, like he knew it was a meme, but he'd do it the Butters way. He'd drop his pants and hold his t-shirt way up here, and he just piss into your. It was always the funniest fucking joke, but
Oh man, so funny. All right, everyone got their stuff.
Yep.
Sick. Welcome to the Blue Reef Podcast, episode number 274. I'm Adrian. That's David. That's Kels. We go
Hell
live
yeah.
on youtube.com/appbluerupees every Tuesday to talk about video games and whatever else we want to talk about, because that's usually what it turns into, which is fine. Happy end of spooky month. So
ooh.
yeah. David, you all right? You look like you're like in a trance right now.
A little tired.
Are you sick too?
No, just exhausted.
Allergies?
Yeah.
You've been
Allergies, and I've been fucking nonstop this whole time, so
Yeah.
my day off was spent basically getting prepped and ready for Extra Life, so I haven't really had like a stopping moment to relax.
And I didn't realize Extra Life was so soon, so I'm not doing that, unfortunate, because I really wanted to. This is the year I actually probably could have, but whatever. Hey, super quick shout out I want to mention before I forget. If anyone is anyone here fans of Mega 64?
No.
Nah.
I was a big fan of them growing up. But they had a stream recently, where they've just talked about how like the last 10 months have actually been really fucked for them. So shout out to them. If you go check them out, I think this is kind of a fun little like dissection of just YouTube because they have stagnated hard. Like if you look at their like Social Blade, probably it like their growth is just like non-existent. They've just kind of been the same forever. And I think a lot of it just attributes to the fact that they started posting their podcast on their YouTube page when they first started. Now they're at like 400, 500 episodes, which means their actual like content's like drowned out. So YouTube just does not recommend anything because they just kind of got lost in the shuffle there. It's kind of fascinating, but along that was just some merch problems and stuff like that, which is unfortunate. But they've been getting a lot of support. But big shout outs to them. Great skits, love them, good times. But yeah. Got a handful of things to talk about. David, we gotta see.
What?
We gotta see.
We got, yeah.
In person.
Yeah, we got to see one another in person and cause some havoc.
There's the most dumbass story we're gonna tell in this podcast in a little bit.
You got to make sure you send the video to Kells though when we get ready to tell it, because the video seals it all together.
Let me see. I know I wonder if I uploaded it or not on here. If not, I'll start. I'm gonna send it to you right now, Kells, and then just don't look at it until we're telling the story.
Gotcha.
But yeah. Let's talk about what we did first. So we actually we're gonna dive into that. Kells, how was your week first before we go into a big talk like that?
Really good, really chill. It's all the calm before the storm. This upcoming week is pre-release weekend for Set 3 weekend, so
Hell yeah.
I'll chill until then. Yeah.
Anyway, I could talk you into when we were young. Or is that not a lineup you would do?
No,
Damn.
I'm pretty off of it by now.
Fair.
I think it's a at first it was cool and kind of novel, and now it's just
Now it's a
like
festival. Yeah,
now it's like a commercial festival. It's
fair.
like, all right.
That's fair.
And like I said last week too, I feel like at this point now I've seen all of them or all the ones I want to see, or I have other chances to see them. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like it's not worth it to go to this just to see what I'm trying to see. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I feel obligated to because one, it's just more my speed. Like as soon as the girlfriend shows me, I'm like, oh, this is a set list I fuck with more. Like not anything
sure.
bad. We talked about our whole thing, but I fuck with this. But also, like I was saying the entire time, I was like, I would love for Panic to come back and just play a Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Like why would we not do that? And then it just said that's like top of the bill. I'm like, all right, well, I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't just go to this thing and after I was saying that literally for the past week. But yeah. So all the card stuff. Anything else going on? Has it just been card stuff?
Yeah, been a lot of that. They announced their Worlds, which is going to be in Vegas. So I got a plan to go to Vegas at the end of July next year.
Hell yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
does that line up with Evo?
Yeah, I think it does because it's like the 25th or something like that. It's like the very end of July.
David?
That's not happening.
Fuck.
Honestly, I'm not gonna have a big trip in me for a while.
Fair. Maybe I'll do that, but I might not want to. I might not do Evo because it's so expensive.
Oh,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe
for
just
sure.
finals day. Maybe I don't know. It's a bit, I don't know. Whatever. I'll see. David. So
Yo.
we had a fun trip to Boston.
Fast.
Yes.
So, I caused some stress ahead of time, because that's the nature of standby flights.
Of course.
So
I love you, AJ, but goddamn, y'all need to learn how to plan better.
unfortunately, planning better costs money.
Yes.
Uh,
and in this instance, it cost me money.
yeah. Which I mean, you freaked the girlfriend out. We'll talk about this. All right, we'll talk. So first off, standby flights, if you're not aware, are flights that like they just need to fill up seats and you can grab them. And if it's there, it's there. If it's not, better luck on the next flight. And so we kind of just hit on the seat of our pants. We're like, all right, Friday is off. We're gonna get there and just try early, and that way we have all day. Surely, right? Got our flight that we wanted to right away, the one that we needed to. Cool. We're out. We're in Dallas, which anti shout out to Dallas. Y'all are 90 degrees last week, and that's a lot. Stop that. Get landed in Dallas, and when we were checking literally hours before, and there were like 15 open seats. We landed in Dallas, and the girlfriend checks, and there is -1 seat.
Oh no.
And we're like, what the fuck? How? So I let David know ahead of time because I rather let David know to mentally prepare instead of just drop it on him last second. I was like, hey David, there's this thing that might happen. We don't know. Oh, and actually, I mentioned the trip was chaos because I also just have apparently mentally just blanked on a lot of things between this, Vegas, and then just so much shit going on at work that I just blanked on spot. So I thought I was gonna stay with David in the hotel room. I misread and did not. That it was not a thing. So David bought us a room that was like right next to us, or right next to like a hotel nearby. Which God bless him, love David for that. Did panic my girlfriend a bit because I showed them the price and it was a lot of money, and I had to also like split off with like because she was like immediately she's like you got to tell him not to, like don't do that. Like she felt uncomfortable for that for a second. And I was like, also the caveat is though, David is a man of convenience where it's like
Yeah,
I am
very
not.
much so.
I will save a couple $100 if it means inconvenience for a little bit. David will not. So like I was like,
No, if I have the money, I will fucking throw money at the problem to not have to deal with shit.
whereas
See,
like
that's me and my wife. I'm that way. I'll suffer in the short term for the long term investment. My wife, she's like, nope. I need it this way. I need it now.
yeah.
I got the money. I'm throwing it at it.
So I was like, we're pinching on money, right? Because it's like
Is that our heritage thing? Like you come from a traditionally like Hispanic family, right?
yes,
And I come from like an Asian, Japanese, like integrated into America family. So I wonder if it's like
it could
like
be.
some sort of like psychological.
These fucking white people, dude. They just.
I know, these fucking white,
Oh,
It's
you
just
know what?
It's money. I don't understand.
Money will fix everything. Which they're not wrong, but like,
No, it's very true.
but like over here, like to me here's it's David's gonna cringe the fuck out of this. If I had my way and was able to wiggle it, there was like a town an hour outside of Boston that was like $100 a night.
No, fuck.
And
fuck
I was
that.
like,
fuck
totally.
dealing with all that traffic. Fuck dealing with.
I was willing for that,
not.
but I was willing. I was like, I would totally do that. I'm like, yeah, an hour away, and I save multiple hundreds of dollars. Absolutely. Again, I'm a teacher though too, so it's like penny pinching sometimes. But the David is the complete polar opposite. Where if they could fix it and not have to deal with that, which to be fair, right, the experience is infinitely better in David's side,
for sure.
but money. But yeah, and so I had to tell her, I was like, David is a man of convenience. It's like he will absolutely prefer this, even if we were able to save the money and do that. The added barrier of that will be a detriment to them. So it is what it is. So shout out to David though. It was he got a spot next to us, which was great. And it was convenient, right? Because we were able to go back and rest for a little bit, come back and meet up back and forth. It was like downtown, so it was access to food right away.
Nice.
But the funny thing is David's hotel and the hotel he got me are definitely the two opposite personas of what we should have had.
Oh my god! I was so close to being like, oh man, maybe we should have switched.
You could have, like, if you asked, if you asked, no, 100 billion%. If you asked that first night, hey, we like this room a lot more, can we have that one? We would have in a heartbeat been like, yeah, that's fine. Like, what the fuck? So what happened is David booked this place called the Moxie, and then booked us at a place called the Courtyard. Both like right next to each other, right? The Courtyard is definitely a business hotel, right? Very quiet. It's got a fucking water machine at the bottom, which is like a freestyle Coke machine, which is just like flavored water just on tap. Like,
that's sick.
And you can have it any temperature you want. You can have it bubbly or not.
It's a Coke freestyle free water machine.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's how you knew right away, right? And then we go up there, and the room was like, and they're all the rooms are kind of small, right? But like, it was peaceful, quiet, boom, nothing. David's hotel was the party hotel.
Oh yeah, no, it was just part before you even get to the
elevators
primary areas. You have to go through an elevator. The check-in area has a whole bar attached to it.
Right.
And then there's another floor that's a whole party room bar area, and then there's the actual rooms. And they are the dingiest, just like quick, you're there in and out kind of hotel room.
and it was Halloween weekend, which I didn't foresee. Which if I knew, I would have packed Spider Punk, and I would have been walking down the streets like downtown Boston, fucking amazingly. Because walking downtown here, people were yelling at me already, and it was like a lot more sparse. But down there, promise you, everyone would have been popping off for that dude. But I was like, fuck. If I fucking realized, I would have brought my costume. But I'm like, already, like the contrast of just of vibes was not there for David. There was like Party City in David's.
I was so disgusted with everyone I fucking came across.
Meanwhile, it's like ours is like quiet. You have to have a key to get into the room after into the building after 9 p.m.
A key for the key.
Yeah, like it was like quiet. So yeah, if David asked to swap that, I would have 100%. I've been fine with us. Like we had no issue with that. But either way, both were right next to the theater. But let's talk about this trip real quick. Fantastic weather, I'd say.
Yeah, it was perfect for the trip, honestly.
60, 70, like not even, I don't even think it hit 70 degrees. It was like solid 60s at least, at there. Got to hang around, walked around a bit. It was a nice breeze at night. David vehemently hates people and cities with a burning passion, but will also concede and say that out of the cities, Boston's probably the most digestible.
It's the closest to an actual city I would ever choose to be in.
If you had to choose.
If I had to.
Right. It's like New York, if New York had space to breathe and less crowdedness. And architecture's super nice. It's really it's really nice. We went to a park for a bit, watched all the squirrels. There was a event getting held up the next day, but super cool. Food I think was great. Good time with the food too.
Accent.
Yeah. Every time you hear him say "wada," love it.
Water.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good times, and yeah, it really helped out because the concert hall was right there, so we were able to grab dinner nearby and just walk straight to the thing there.
Nice.
Merch line was a fucking atrocious nightmare.
That was fucking ridiculous.
Was it better or worse than the last time you seen them?
Infinitely worse because there was not a pre-stand out. LA kind of killed it with like, because yeah, the merch was long, but like they had that booth was out there 4 hours before the show, so it was like, oh, if you're gonna wait in a line for like an hour or two, like a fucking Neanderthal, 2 hours of waiting in there, and you still have time to like kick it and relax, and then come back to the show, right? Perfect. Like I'm willing to wait that. But the not only was the booth like downstairs for merch, which this place is like 5 stories tall, and it was like the actual concert hall is like 4 stories tall, and there's a basement side. I didn't even know where the fuck the merch was. I was like, when we're gonna walk up to our seats, we weren't gonna get merch already. We were like, maybe so, maybe not. But we saw lines already. And we're like, no, we're good. But I was like, you know what? I just want to peek to see if they have anything interesting there. I want to peek. Couldn't find it within the 4 seconds of I've turned 4 places. I'm like, I can't find it. Don't care. Let's go. Walked up, and it was a nice hall, super nice hall. But dude, the merch line was like spiraling like up the staircase for things, and one, it's dumb because most of the stuff you could buy online. I get some of the stuff sells out pretty often, but like you can buy majority online, if not all of it, almost at this point, because they do have pre-orders for the tour stuff. But two, and there's 3 things. 2 is that you miss a lot of the show because you're waiting in line, which happened for people. 3, you're also kind of disrupting the show for others because you're having to walk through and like ask people to stand up so you can get through to your seat and stuff. It's like kind of a mess.
Yeah.
And so I ran down during intermission because like, all right, I already seen the shows. I don't mind seeing intermission. I kind of like, I went down there and I'm sure there were some nerds fucking like running. I'm like, all right, guys, like you're in a fucking concert hall. Please act somewhat mature. Don't just like fucking run down in your graphic shirt, please.
Were you all dressed up for it?
Yeah, we dressed up fancy, like an orchestra, right? Nothing like super fancy.
Like a good business casual.
Yeah, AKA David found a button-up shirt. But I went down there and
button up.
I went out there and the merch line was still a bit long, and I was like, all right. They had some plushes. I was like, oh, I kind of want that, and I waited in line. They were like, all right, show starts in 5 minutes, and everyone was still waiting. I'm like, okay, and I was like, all right, I'd seen the show, so I don't mind like if I miss like the first half of the song, but people weren't moving, and so the girlfriend went back down. And I was like, here, and she doesn't mind. She's like, she knows I'm the Nier fan. She's like, I'm here for the ride. She's like, I was like, here's what I want in line. Grab that for me, please. And I tried to get David the CD thing, but they sold out. Went up there, and sure enough, dude, like I'm walking up and I'm walking up the staircase, and people are still waiting there, and they're like, I hope they play some slow song. And in my head, I'm like, you're gonna miss like 3 or 4 fucking songs just to get through this line, which is like, what the fuck? You paid $100 some to go wait in line to buy merch that you can buy online, like.
And that's if they got the nosebleeds like we got,
which is still great. Like,
there were still great seats, but like even just 1 row up from what we got was double the price.
Yeah. And not only that, it's like not only are you missing music, but you're missing the fucking story, right? It's like if you're missing actual dialogue, because that's what happened. And this tells it's like they have the voice actors talking over like voiceover dialogue is brand new recorded as an epilogue to Automata, and then interspersed with music in between that actually adds to the story, because it's like, oh, we're in this place, and it adds like the theme or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so
it's an actual epilogue to it.
Right, and it's like you're missing actual story stuff. So if you don't know what's going on, you're gonna come back and you don't know what happened.
Right.
So, whatever. And I had to like, I was like trying to drum that beat of like, please don't miss the fucking concert for merch. I understand you really want this merch, but like, do not miss the fucking show for merch. That is stupid.
Right. What are you actually here for?
Yeah. And it was funny. I was eavesdropping on people around me. I was in line, and it's like, I don't have the mental capacity currently to just like have a nerd talk right now. Like if I ever want to nerd talk about Nier, I will with David any day. But like I don't want to talk with these strangers. And so people were behind me are like talking. There's like, I kind of want to play Nier, but it's like because this guy's like I don't even know what this game is, but I'm here.
This was the most painful. Holy fuck!
He's like I want to like play this game. He's like, I don't know if it's worth like this PS5 and like any other like era. I would be like, you can even buy a Switch, play this game, do that. It's worth it because I'm like, I'm not going to engage with it. I just have no energy to engage with a conversation with anyone.
Did you say it's someone there that hasn't played the
Yeah,
games?
there was like, I want to get. He wanted
like
a shirt. He wanted a shirt. He's like, I really want a
shit.
shirt just for that. I'm like, all right, dude, do whatever you want.
Yeah, there was this whole row of people behind us where 2 of the guys hadn't even played. They brought their girlfriends, and they hadn't even played all the games. They played through Automata, and one of them started Replicant, but they hadn't played it. all the way through.
The
And
one
the
guy.
other
Oh,
one-
oh, oh! The guy behind me started replicating this afternoon.
Yeah, that day. And then one of the other ones, like, well, I watched a couple of YouTube videos on this series. I didn't even play them at all, just watched the YouTube videos and showed up. And we're trying to tell their girlfriends the deep intertwined lore of Drakengir without having any comprehension of it, to the point where they're like, oh yeah, I mean, like, Drakengard is like only even loosely connected to Nier. You know, there's like one throwaway line that brings it all together.
David Angry texted me saying these guys behind us are fucking so stupid.
It was so bad. Even my partner, who she's gone through Replicant and Automata with me, and I have unfortunately given her deep lore dives just verbally. And even she was like, I want to correct them. I want so bad to turn around and just correct them, but I can't be nice about it. So I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't have the mental energy to do that. I was already so tired and burned out from so much travel stuff, but I was like, dude, yeah. And same thing, like I'm like it, and they did make a line. I was just eavesdropping him at the end, and I think what I heard was like, yeah, it's just like it's like some one line in the ending that connects it to Nier. And I was like, huh. Interesting.
Imagine the white chlorination syndrome. Just one line, one throwaway line that connects it all somehow.
Yeah. I like how fucking dweeby we are, though. We're like, these two guys brought their girlfriends, haven't even fucking played these video games. They fucking watch a YouTube video. We fucking played it.
But in our defense, we also made our partners sit down through the games as well.
And even to more egregious, like that was one of my partner's first video games, which is totally not what you should do. This is like a video game's like
No, that is
a video
not
game.
a good primer.
This is like definitely like a maybe you've played for at least 4 or 5 years and you know what you're getting yourself into. But
it's kind of like Undertale, in that it's expecting to be able to subvert expectations.
that's why I always want to recommend like Doki Doki to her, but I'm like, you would have no idea what it means. So it's like maybe eventually. I've already talked about the show way back in January. Talk about what you thought about it though. Give your full thoughts on it.
Oh man, this was beautiful. I had a fantastic time with it. Real quick side tangent. One of the other things we did do on the trip, my partner and I got to see Blue Man Group. That was my first time seeing them. Fantastic show. Highly recommend. A lot of fun. We actually got picked for the crowd participation, which was kind of neat. But enough about the Blue Man Group.
That was fast.
The real shit.
4 lines. All right,
Honestly, like it was fun, but like this
is what you came here for.
Exactly. This is what I came here for. I had fun at Blue Man. It was great. Would do it again. Easily worth the money. But fucking Nier some real shit. And it was fantastic. Like, truly, reading the story of what happens in the epilogue is nowhere near the same experience as going to the concert.
Really quick, and that's what bums me out that you didn't play Reincarnation, because I'm like, you go read the story, some of the moments just fucking hit, and I'm bummed that you won't get able to experience that. But
there's a project going on right now trying to recreate it.
If they do, that'd be fantastic. I hope you play it, because there are some moments, like I tell you, like the end of Reincarnation is Persona 5 Royal vibes, where it's like that whole like, you know, that moment where they're like holding up everything and they're like, and then I'm like, dude, this is it. This is the moment. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No, it was fantastic. I really like the way that they weave the story. Mm-hmm. They really went above and beyond to add more than just a single throwaway line to circle it back around to Drakengard.
Or to like integrate the music, right? It's like not just like, oh, hey, we're in here music. It's like, no, they actually, like, there's a reason why everything's happening the way it is.
Yes. So I'm trying not to spoil too much because Raquel's hasn't gone through this journey yet. But one of the things,
I have a question. Like, okay, so you said you went to the Spider-Verse orchestra thing, right?
Right.
How is this like in relation to it? Like, is it kind of, how's it organized? Is it just like songs in order with?
So
clips,
the way,
like,
so it's interesting. So they've done concert stuff, right? So when the Spider-Verse orchestra straight up just the movie, but they play the music alongside it. This is like everything that, you know, like if you when you walk into certain worlds in like RPGs, you walk into this area, like the music comes on for that part or something like that, or like this boss has this kind of music. They interweave an epilogue of stuff that's happening where it's like we woke up in a city. and then we were as white all around. You know what it is, like in your head, you're like, all right, that's what it is. And then like it's cool the way they do it. They kind of like they'll play the first few notes, and then on the back screen they'll like put the title of the track on there. You'll know what it is, or they'll be like, we saw this wild monster that seemed too powerful for us, or what I'm saying in a lot like not elegant way, right? But like they're saying like, oh, we see this monster, this is that, and they don't know who it is because they never fought it, but you know what game it is because it's a different game. That's not always spoiled. It's so vague, but like because it's two games, right? It's Nier Replicant and Nier Automata, but they're together or whatever.
Technically
like,
3 because with the dragon that they mentioned,
right? But they'll be like, oh, when we saw this, and then the boss battle music for this thing happens. You know, so it's like they interweave it with stuff that's happening that you're aware of, and you'll know what it is just being like that. But it is like different music like that.
And it's kind of neat, although I wish they went and put a little bit more effort into it, because whenever they have a scene that they're describing, they have, and when the music's playing, they have almost like a visualizer that's kind of playing, but the visualizer is kind of designed around the area that they're in. So like they're talking about how they're going to explore through the forest, and then there's kind of a vaguely forest kind of a visualizer,
or like an ocean water. There's water,
or like an ocean water. Every so often you do get very specific visuals, like there's one like really epic fight where it actually has the effects of like enemy missile attacks in Automata playing in rapid succession to the beat of the music.
That was cool.
And it's really cool. It's the closest thing that captures like, oh, I am like watching a kind of production of the game in a way. I really wish that for some sequences they had actually done specific art for this instead of it just being the weird pseudo visualizer effect. Just because some scenes it would have been amazing to see actual art for it, but for what it is, it was really solid.
I'm on both ends of that where I agree with that, but also I think part of this too is that it really lets the music do all the speaking, right? It's like if we look at art, we'll be like kind of like that's cool art, but we really want to let the music do everything we can.
That's fair, and they definitely picked absolutely banger phenomenal list. Absolute banger set list. I pretty much heard every song I was hoping to hear in it.
I saw you pop off for Emil. Apparently, Emil was one you wanted. I saw your partner kind of rub your back there. I knew you were waiting for that one.
Yeah, that one I popped off for. The Mermaid song, I fucking A, that got me. God damn. And then my partner popped off for Kaine's song at the end. She gave me a look initially because where they used it for the kind of wrap up at the end.
Right.
She gave me this look like fucking A. Because that's like her favorite fucking track from the series.
I was gonna.
The second it
started
playing,
the music boxes were there. I was hoping the music box were there. I recorded part of Weight of the World, and then I had the partner record all of Kaine, so I should send that to you too, if I can, because I got the whole recording for that. It's so good. I will admit, finally, I guess it's not really finally, it's not really there yet, but I got one tear out of it because like just the swelling. Because I had gone through Replicant and was like retreading through Automata last time I watched it, so it wasn't really connecting as much as it should have. It's like, oh, here's a brand new experience. I like platinumed. And here's one that I remember just like bits and pieces of because it's so dense, but also been like 3 or 4 years now. But now having like both them, and it's been since January, right? So it's been a little while, but like a lot of them just like more fresh in my head. I got like after the Weight of the World, then into Kaine, it got me a little bit. I was like, all right, it's so good, and they're incredible singers. Love them. They're awesome.
Yes, the original singers came and did the audio, which was phenomenal.
They do that too, which is awesome. But I think what got me was in Kaine they had the choir sing along with that, which is so cool because it's chaos language, right? So it's a made up language, but just hearing a choir just sing this weird like made up language, but like kill it, so good. But yeah, you thought story was great, Dave, and you had a good experience with it.
Yeah, and I said this, my only other kind of minor complaint with it is the epilogue is just focused pretty much on 2B and 9S. Would have liked my girl A2 to get some representation, but that's fine. The anime fixes that, so
fair.
But yeah, no, all in all, absolutely phenomenal experience. Although I'm tired of orchestras picking venues that have the tiniest fucking knee crunching chairs. I was eating both my knees the whole time.
Yeah, it was a really nice venue looking, but yeah, the definitely a bit squeezed in. Um, but yeah, it's gorgeous music, Kels. I hope eventually when we do this weird games gone by world, I hope we eventually do that because I think just seeing how much we line up in some games like with Red Dead and Alan Wake, I think Nier is going to be one of those that you'll really sink your teeth into and enjoy at a high caliber. With that said, the next day, wrapped up, went over to David's stopping grounds.
Hell yeah.
Um, it was a normal day. We just had to drive up there, just got some food, chilled, and then hey, Kels, we did it though.
What'd we do?
We went to the Auburn Mall.
Nice.
We were
Adrian
driving.
got to experience the beauty and majesty of the Auburn
I didn't
Mall.
even have it on my mind. It was not really on my mind until we were driving. I happened to look out the window and saw the fucking sign, and I interrupted because they were having a good conversation. I interrupted whatever was happening. I was like, I interrupt you guys. Is that the Auburn Mall, David? And you said yes, it is. I'm like, holy shit. And you're like, do you want to go there? I was like, I think we need to go there. So we went back for a bit, just to rest for a little bit. David brought me back. Everything I thought it'd be dead as fuck. It's retro as fuck looking. It was 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. on a Saturday night, and probably a maximum of 14 people.
And half of those were in the one restaurant that's in there.
Yeah, I felt really bad because his mom brought like her daughter and son, and they were like dressed up for Halloween. I'm like, oh man, like there's nowhere you can't even show off the costumes, right? That'd be part of it. But I will have something to show off because David did bring me to the video game store they dumps all of his games to, and much to David's actual astonishment, prices weren't bad. Like they actually leveled out.
They've
I
been
guess
fixing them up.
Yeah, there were a couple little like tidbits where they had one of this like $75 GameCube game, which was already kind of tracking for like maybe a little bit more than it was already supposed to be via price charting, but also didn't have a manual. Also had like the Game Crazy film on top of it. Where I'm like, all right, well, no, I'm good. I did grab something from it though, because David has store credit. So like, David, grab a store credit, I'll pay you for that. That way you at least get full cash value for your money. He's like, yeah, sure, because I don't know when I'm gonna buy stuff here.
Right.
So made that transaction. So thank you, David. I'll show that off on,
Yeah.
what we got thing. But yeah, so we did that. Went back. I had to do some work, and then I heard David about to leave, and I'm like, I need to start moving because I felt like Crank, where it's like if I stop moving, I'm gonna fall asleep. So I had to keep moving. So I heard David's leaving. I'm like, hey, let's go, David. Let me preface this again. David brought his mischief device.
Yeah, so this was a situation where we were trying to order from a couple different local restaurants, but it was such a busy night that we had to just say fuck it and order from Applebee's.
So wait, let me rewind. You brought your device. You brought your clicker.
Yeah, I brought my magic wand here. Oh, it's right here. I brought my flipper.
So
David
was fucking with us in the park. Well, actually, I'll tell you your story about it a little bit.
We got a whole lead up to things. We got a lot of things.
Start with the story that you feel bad about.
I don't feel bad about anything.
No, you feel bad. No, you feel bad about harming innocent doggos.
Oh,
No.
well, that was when I before that was. Way
You
back
said
before I
rewind
even
it, so
came
go to the beginning, David.
Okay.
Talk about
Oh,
your.
we're gonna go all the way- Okay, I thought we were talking about rewind. Okay, so if we're fully rewinding, I did get into one bit of mischief with this that I do feel a little bit bad about. We were grabbing lunch before we drove down to Boston, and we stopped at Five Guys that was on the way down. And
Can you tell this guy's fucking made of money, by the way? Jesus Christ, just stopping by Five Guys. No
You
mortgage
know what's
out or
funny?
anything.
Are y'all familiar with Suryat by the chance? Do you
Uh-uh.
watch his videos at all?
Nah.
He does a lot of like stupid eating challenges where it's like, oh, I'll only eat like fucking Subway for a week, or I can only eat the fucking Costco
I
chicken
think I might know who
things
you're
for a
talking
week.
about.
Yeah, he did one a couple days ago. That was I'm only gonna eat at the most expensive Five Guys in the country, which was in Hawaii. And I'm sitting here like, oh shit, the prices aren't that much different than Maine. Oh, that's sad.
No, it's expensive. Jesus.
But yeah, so we stop at Five Guys. That's on the way down to Boston, and I'm just kind of fucking with my flipper a little bit. I'm kind of playing to see
Just
kind of what
flipping it?
different. Yeah, I
Just
placed my
flipping it?
order. I'm fucking around with it. No one even knows what the fuck. I'm sure most people, if they just quickly look, I'm sure they're like, oh, that's some Pokemon device or some bullshit.
Like, no, my
Um,
Tesla.
and I'm like, oh, what's the Bluetooth kitchen sink? Let's hit that and see what that does. And it has a whole library of Bluetooth-based attacks that it does. And I don't think anything of it. I don't see anyone in the store reacting, so I come out. And I see a few dogs in the parking lot that, mind you, the parking lot is like a good chunk away from where I was in the restaurant. But I go out, and there's some doggos. And I'm like, oh, cute dogs. And I get in. I'm like, oh, those are some happy looking dogs. And my partner's like, oh, those are not happy dogs. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, and she's like, oh, I don't know what happened, but like two of the cars, their radios started freaking out and causing the dogs to freak out. And I'm like, oh. And she's like, was that you? And I don't answer for a little bit. And then, like, about 5-10 minutes into the drive, I'm like, I think that may have been me.
So poor dogs were just living their life, and they just heard this loud fucking screech, and they just freaked them the fuck out. So shout out to David for
Yeah.
that one.
So one day I'm gonna go into a parking garage and find out what it actually does to cars. But
That's the one time he feels bad.
that's the one time I feel bad in this whole trip using it, because I fucked with it a little bit throughout the trip.
Okay, continue.
Thankfully, my partner was there to stop me most of the time.
Most.
There, however, when Adrian and I went out on our shopping errand, she was not there.
So
And I
first
already
off,
told
real
Adrian.
we were in the park. David was messing around with it. So what it does is like, there's one of the things he was doing where it's like, it kept trying to connect like your Apple TV or something, which threw me. And I didn't understand what his thing did. So we were like, that's weird. What's it connecting with? And David finally admitted after like 30 minutes, oh, that's me.
Yeah, because we're walking, and I'm like, oh, let's see what some of these attacks do. Again, because I'm kind of curious. And all of a sudden, Adrian's like, what the fuck? There's like an Apple TV. And I'm like, fucking where? Where in the park would there be an... And then I dawned on
So
me,
even
I'm like,
you didn't fucking know? Fucking know.
The first time, no.
Oh my God.
Because I'm like, where the fuck would an Apple TV be coming
See,
from?
now, see,
Again,
here's the
I
thing.
haven't used...
Here's
I
the
haven't
thing.
tinkered with that yet.
Here's the thing.
So I learned.
Here's the thing. That's funny because I'm pretty hyper aware. Again, I work with fucking teenagers all day, so I have to be pretty aware, just like a lot. So your naivety is what actually sold the fucking bit. Because if I say that 9 days out of 10, if you don't respond or anything or do that, I'm gonna know you're up to something. Like that's just by happenstance. That's just I'm pretty aware. So the fact that you didn't know what the fuck you were doing. And you probably you were like, oh, there is like, and you were looking around too.
Yeah, the first time I did it.
So
And
that's
then
why I
the
didn't
second
expect
time-
you, because you actually also play it up to a point where you were a good actor because you weren't acting.
Yeah, I wasn't acting the first time. And then like about 10 minutes into our walk, you're like, the Apple TV is here again. And that's I'm like, oh, an Apple TV is following us. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you the clue there.
I
have learned what's happened.
I saw your bewildered look, so I'm like, if that's the case, like then again, I would have caught it if I knew, like if you were all quiet the first time, I would have caught on like easy. But the fact that you were so confused looking, I'm like, okay, then I guess it's not him. Anyway, but let's talk about so David. So we had to make a food order to Applebee's. Cool.
Yeah.
We also we gotta go to the store.
Yeah, we had to make a couple store stops because I wanted to give them a good taste of Maine. So I was looking for Moxie, I was looking for Needham's, Whoopie
Right.
Pies, etc.
So we go to this. I see GameStop there, and David was talking shit on this GameStop. I'm like, let's go to this GameStop that you say was full of Funko Pops, which again, much to David's dismay, was not Funko Pops. There's a lot more as plushies now.
No, they've updated it. So where now it's more plushies and toys than anything. And NFT trading cards for some fucking reason.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so we went in there. We're looking around, and I didn't catch David. Just like looks at me like a fucking drug dealer. Just like kind of nudges at me. I'm like, what's up? He like tries to pull me aside. He's like, he does this. I'm like, okay. And then he types on his phone, 2 down. And I'm the person where it's like, if I don't understand what happens the first 2 times, I just nod in agreement. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we do our thing, we leave, and then I'm like, what the fuck were you saying? He's like, oh, I turned 2 of the TVs off in GameStop while we were doing transactions, so the music stopped. I was like, oh. Poor dude was playing on his yo-yo in complete silence.
The fucking the Switch demo kiosk they had, I turned that one off. And then I was trying out some of the other ones, but I think they were monitors and not TVs, which uses a different tool on it. But then, as Adrian was checking out, I see that there's a regular TV that's playing like an ad for Wukong there. So I turned that off, and all of a sudden it goes dead silent in the store. No one fucking notices. All right, whatever. So we leave. We'll follow up on that GameStop in a second.
So, all right, let me tell this story.
Yeah, you tell it. Go for it.
So, I
And this
want to
involves the video.
preface this that I'm going to come back to this detail at the end of this whole thing. But so this is my first time meeting David's partner. Lovely person. They're amazing. I'm so happy for you, genuinely. It's not like sarcastic or anything.
Thank you.
My partner and his partner got along really well. They became pretty solid friends by the end of it, which I'm glad. That's like what you could ask. That's the best you could ask for, right? You're like, if our partners get along together, everything's fantastic. The tones of our hangouts were vastly different. I'm just gonna come back to that later, right? Like I'll come back to that. Just putting that out there. We're at this grocery store, and it's yeah. David just can't stop laughing. That's because he knows where this is going. We're at this grocery store. Okay, there's like no one there. Just keep that detail in your mind too. All right, there's like literally like 4 people in the entire
We're
store.
one of like 6 people in the whole store, including the staff.
Yeah. So we're walking around. David finds his Moxie, and it's the 12-pack of cans, you know, with
Yep.
the handle, the slip handle you can put your hand through. David just grabs it, boom, boom, walking away with it. All right, he looks through a couple things, whatever. When I see him put his hand through it, I'm like, interesting. I just carry it like a fucking bazooka. We're walking, and then David, and he's like, oh, we need to look for these pies. He turns around, and when he turns around too fast, and like the fucking carton of fucking sodas rips and just falls on the ground
No.
and explodes.
No.
And that's the video I have of it. It's funny because like it's like a cartoon moment on that. Actually, Kel's like, go ahead and look at the video.
All right, go.
Look at the video.
Live reaction.
There's a funny like cartoon moment with the fucking can where it's like it shits a can out, which is really funny. So this is where it lands on the ground, and David like drops a can trying to put the cans back, and it's creating a mess. It's a mess. So David, logically, because he has no partner there to be his second, or actually just a more than his one brain cell, because David is orange cat at heart, picks the leaking cans up, starts walking away with it as if he's gonna go bring it to a fucking employee, like, hey, this exploded. No, David's like, oh wait. Okay, he got the brain cell. He's like, well, then put this on the ground so it's not leaking everywhere. Okay, smart, cool. And he starts walking away, and he's like walking away like a cartoon villain. That's his shoes are squeaking because he stepped on all his soda. So he's making his like squeaking noise as he's walking away.
I'm leaving a trail of Moxie.
Yeah, there's a trail of Moxie already all over the place. Mind you, this place is like pretty close to closing already. So it's like no one in there, and now there's this giant fucking mess. Okay, whatever. David's like, all right, whatever. I was like, I expected David to go talk to someone, let them know. And he's like, well, first I'm gonna get my new Moxie. Okay, walks over to his Moxie. Okay, and we're like laughing a lot because this is fucking stupid. Okay, we look to the pies are not there. Whatever. Okay, I'm looking at this fucking like it's like near this like the exit kind of ish like on one side. So it's like it's just when you see the picture, right? It just looks like a sad just like broken like 12-pack of canned soda, which is leaking everywhere, and it's in the middle of nowhere. All right, we walk in and we're doing the self checkout, and I'm like, all right, David, don't be a dickhead, right? At least let them know. So there's this really nice greeter guy, which I heard from David's partner. Is a very sweet guy in general, just a very very nice person. David's bought alcohol too, so I have to wave the guy down to go get him checked out. And this is what killed me. This is like I've done my fair share of like jackass pranks when I was a kid, so I try to hold it in pretty well on the whole like laughing thing, but I let it slip a little bit, and I'll explain. So we're doing this, and any person on the planet that is of an adult, because kids get a little scared and they have to do that, like, you know, when you do that panic lie as a kid. Okay. David just in a calm voice is like, as he's ringing up, oh, by the way, I noticed that there is that someone dropped a can of or dropped some Moxie out there and just leaking everywhere right now. I noticed that. Okay, cool. So they clean it. But he's saying this with a giant fucking 12-pack of Moxie himself. And I'm like, David, just tell him you dropped it. Like, what the fuck? I thought it was gonna be, Hey, I apologize. I dropped some Moxie on there on accident. I'm sorry. Okay, cool. No, it had to be a lie. He had to lie about it. Say, hey,
I didn't lie. I noticed it.
hey, I noticed there was some Moxie on the ground over there that just kind of exploded and like leaking everywhere. And like I say, leaking everywhere as if like you're watching it leak everywhere. Like, yeah, you did watch it leak everywhere because you did it.
Yeah, I just sat there and watched it happen.
The poor guy. He was like so close to leaving for the night. Has to go clean that all up because David just like lied about it. And so I'm over here trying to keep the lie. And I like I did like a as I'm trying to like fake them laughing, but I'm just fucking dying. David got instant karma for this, by the way. Like it's pretty instant karma. So I'll tell the beginning of it, and you can have free reigns on the actual story after that. So we go to the Applebee's across the street. David's like, all right, I gotta let the partner know that we drove up there. We wait there about 10 minutes. We're trying to see if the clicker thing works between the windshield and the window for the Applebee's. Doesn't work. Okay, David's like, all right, wait here for 10 minutes. I'm gonna yell at them. Okay. David walks out and goes inside. I'm like, all right, well, I was sitting there for so long. I started doing my own homework because I'm just like on my phone. I'm like, I'm just doing my homework, I guess. I'm looking at David in the fucking window. We ordered this food like half an hour ago. I'm looking at it, and David just kind of standing there, just like, all right, now continue. This is where you're at. You walk
All
in.
right. So I walk in, and I'm like, no one. There's fucking no one. There's two people at the bar. They see me, don't acknowledge me. There's a waitress that's just talking to a table, and that's it. I'm like, maybe it's busy. And I look around, and it's fucking dead inside. There's like a couple tables, and the bar's full, but that's kind of it. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just wait, whatever. And I'm just kind of, and then it takes like about almost 10 minutes later for someone to come out from behind in the kitchen. And she's like, oh, hey, sorry, we'll be with you in 1 moment. Perfect, not a problem. Fucking another almost 10 minutes passes. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So at this point, I get fucking annoyed. And I start fucking waving around my goddamn flipper like it's the doctor's goddamn sonic screwdriver. And I just start going around and turning off every goddamn TV I can see.
And David's not being coy about this now.
No, I am literally just... Bah, bah, bah. The only reason I stopped is because there started to become a crowd of people behind me, now in the same situation that I am, that were all just fucking waiting. So I spent a good almost half hour fucking waiting in this goddamn Applebee's before finally they come out. They hand another guy his order. They hand me my order. And then as I'm starting to walk out, they hand this guy nothing. Instead, they're like, oh, hey, you're the DoorDash guy, right? He was like, yeah. And they're like, hey, sorry, there was another DoorDash guy that came by earlier, and we just gave him like every order we had from DoorDash. And he's like, what do you mean? And like, I don't know. We just, there was a mix up, and we just gave all the DoorDash orders to him. So we're working on remaking that order that you have.
So what?
So there's someone out there that got a feast.
Got a hell of a fucking order. Hell yeah. Tip that driver
It's
well,
about
please.
3 orders.
Anyway.
But yeah.
So that was ours. We're laughing about this because David's still a fucking idiot. And which he mentions this is why I can't be unsupervised, and which his wife literally echoed like, yeah, this is why I have to be around him. But anyway, we get in there, we get back, and so just preface that earlier comment. We and David had this wacky dumbass adventure of just like us doing this. We walk in just giggling idiots. Meanwhile, like we walk in on our partners, and they was like had like a really like strong like, don't want to say trauma bond, but like one of those kind of like they talked about deep details of their lives. So they're like having this deep personal talk, and we just start giggling like, David dropped the fucking Moxie and fucking spilled it.
Also, meanwhile, they're in the middle of like fucking teddy bear surgery as my partner's just sewing up your partner's bear there.
Yeah, it was so funny. But yeah, and then we had to wake up fucking early ass in the morning to get out of there. And
yeah,
for someone that prides himself on like, if I hear a fucking creak in the fucking in the wood, I'm up. I had to like I knocked on David's door multiple times and yelled David, because we were like running late for the airport at some point where it's like, all right, we're supposed to be out at 4. It's like 4:20, 4:30.
Yeah, it was like 4:20-ish. Yeah. It's because my dumbass, instead of setting my alarm for 3:30, I set it for 4:30.
Yeah. So
But yeah, no, we got up, we were out. You got to experience the fucking Portland airport. How was your experience there?
it wasn't bad. We got in like literally probably about 3 minutes before a giant group in, so we got to hit TSA pretty quickly. And then we got first class out of there. Actually, so the girlfriend again. We live on the edge of our seat sometimes as two ADHD people. We're blessed with each other, and it's kind of bad because we need someone to be more stable between us, and we just don't. So she was like, once we got our ticket, she's like, "Hey, we got first class." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." She's like, "Hey, I didn't want to tell you, I couldn't sleep all night because I checked last night and it said no seats were open." I was like, "Oh, so we just came here and just hopes?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like,
Yes.
"You are me, but I get it." So comfy ass first class out of there, landed in Chicago, and lucked out. It was three options. We either get the first flight out, which was like an hour later, and then we're back home by like 1 p.m. our time, which is mwah. Uh, we have to the next plane leaves at like 9 p.m. So it's like, all right, then we're stuck in Chicago from like 10 a.m. to like probably 7 when we have to come back to the airport. So like, and still gambling that, right? So it's like, well, we spent a whole day in there. We have to carry around luggage, but we can find some place to eat, I guess. Whatever. Third option is we get fucked and we have to find a flight out the next day, which I was like dreading. I was like, I can't take more days off. So let's not do that. But luckily we just happened to clutch out another seat back home. So back by 1 p.m. it was fantastic. Was able to rest the rest of Sunday to get caught up because hour change, even though it was only a few days, that hour change can still kind of fuck you up a little bit. But yeah, it was a great trip. Shouts David for helping us out on that. Definitely pay him back as I can. I'm on a payment plan with him. Working that through. But yeah,
Sending PayPal checks.
yeah. But no, I think one thing that it reaffirmed, because I had met David 3 times in person prior to this. And I mean that was pretty quick succession, right? Because we're talking 2014. I think we met like in 2015-ish for Evo or 2016.
Yeah, 2016 for Evo.
So like 3 years back, I think was it not 3 years back to back? Because it was 2014 for We're Alive, 15 for Evo, and then no 17 for Wedding. So almost back to back, right? But then we haven't seen each other since like that. So it kind of reaffirmed me that I think just life's kind of getting kind of quick. So we should probably just plan more trips that are not based around events, where it's like it's cool, knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's go to this thing together. But we're getting kind of old, and I know amongst us, I'm the one that still wants to plan a family eventually. So it's like we should probably do this whole like let's have a fun trip and just like not have to tie anything, so we just do whatever we want kind of trip soon. So that reaffirmed us, and my partner got along with his partner really well, where they become friends. Where my partner's like very excited to go back and visit now too. So been good times.
That's very sweet.
Yeah, been super good times. So we're excited to hopefully we can plan another trip, just a fun one, like no craziness attached to it, just like. Probably over the summer or something, just like a one that we can map out some time and do stuff. Because I know David and I both want to hit up what's Arcade?
Oh, Fun Spot.
Yeah, we both want to hit up Fun Spot's been on my bucket list to visit, and David's been wanting to go there. So
it's been a long time since I've been. I fucking love Fun Spot.
Yeah, but that was our shenanigans trip. That was a super good time. I am super exhausted though too. Like I'm ready to not travel for a while. I got my next trip's in December for Aquabats, and hopefully after that I can stop for a little while. Back-to-back trips is what kills, I think. I almost couldn't imagine being an artist touring, because man, just going back to back to back to back to back, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Was there anything else on that? I don't think so. That was our week. David, what'd you get?
Hell yeah. Got a few things here. So one, you were actually here to hear the arrangement of this deal, but I got another Switch.
Hell yeah.
This is my boss's partner Switch. Literally hooked me up with it because the battery is warped.
Is it launch?
Yep, it's a launch model.
Oh fuck.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what I'm gonna do is there's a project.
It's a really
that you
shitty
can do-
battery, right?
A very shitty battery.
Yeah.
It's actually warped the back of it.
I have mine every once in a while. If I leave it dead for too long, it'll like completely die, and I have to do like this process to get it to like take a charge again.
Yeah. What I'm going to do with this one is there's a project called the Consolizer for the Switch, where you can basically just tear out the innards and put it in a 3D printed encasing that throws in like a Noctua fan and a couple other kind of ventilation parts to make it like a big, beefier, more aerated setup. So I'm probably going to do that with that one, and then I still have my OG Switch right here that I'm going to go ahead and I have it modded, but it's good to have a stock model on backup just in case.
Switch gang.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Just
But yeah, so that's a project for that in the near future. I also got Romancing Saga 2 remake. Excited to go through that at some point. And then I got these. Actually, first, my mandatory import that I tend to always have the PlayStation 1 adaptation of Spriggan by FromSoft. Hoping one day we'll get a fan translation for that, because there's not too many FromSoft games at this point that don't have translations. And then I got these for Dirt Cheap. These are kind of a fun, weird little novelty. So these are sealed reviewer copies for Treasure Planet and for Monsters Inc. on PS2. You can tell they're reviewer copies by the hole punch in the back.
Nice.
So normally I don't really care for tie-in games like this, but I think I ended up getting these for like $5 each for sealed reviewer copies, and even just regularly sealed, these both go for like $20 each. So I was like, fuck it,
Dude,
why not?
I miss tie-in games so much. Like there's something. It's kind of like B movies. There's like a charm
Oh
there
my
to
god.
it.
Some of them genuinely are good. Some of them
Yeah,
there's a weird charm, but I think more often than not, I'm glad we don't have them as much as we used to.
I feel like nowadays it would get translated into like shipped off to like an offshore mobile Chinese sweatshop or something is what it translated to. But back in the day, it was like, oh, it's legit like a 10-person operation out of some some excess warehouse or something.
Exactly.
It definitely lose a lot of its charm with how the world is nowadays. I feel like.
Oh, and I got my additional adapters for my framework laptop. There's probably only two more I'm going to order for it, and then I think my laptop at that point is about where I want it to be. Um, and I think that's it. That's all I got.
Nice. Kels?
My main thing is digital. Kind of goes into what I've been playing, but I copped Black Ops 6 on Steam.
Hell yeah. How's it been?
Yeah,
We'll talk about it, I guess, right?
yeah.
Fair. All right. So the only thing I grabbed at David's spot was speaking of tie-in stuff, the Girl Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Nice.
$45. I've had the epiphany while I was with David because we looked at the Powerpuff Girls game. It was definitely overpriced there, but that's also going up. So we realized that the next wave of GameCube games that are going up in price are the now tie-in or licensed games like this. So, not excited for that. We'll have to get on top of that before that spikes out of control. Also, do not like how your store just stickers these things on without like
Yep.
doing the whole like because at the game shop we do it when we put stickers on there we would like put on your shirt a few times just to make sure it would just like be easy to peel off. They just slap that sucker on there.
Yep. I spend so much time trying to clean stickers off of shit.
The cat beckons me. David, what did you play?
All right. So I played nothing. Kels, what'd you play?
Quick and easy. So
I didn't have fucking time.
so I played some more Metaphor. And I got through quite a bit more side quests, and I completely finished, I think, the dungeon that I'm on,
All right.
or or the palace. Like I don't know how to describe it exactly because it's kind of organized a whole lot differently than Persona is, and I haven't played the Megaten games to kind of give you a good comparison there. But it's playing a lot like, in a lot of the sense of the words, like it feels a lot kind of like Final Fantasy VII in the sense that you kind of start off in this town and you kind of branch out into like the wide unknown world because you're kind of playing as like a blank slate, learning about
Okay.
the world as everyone else has already been living in it. And so it's but it also has like you have your traditional palaces like in Persona 5, but in between you have all like a bunch of mini dungeons. I guess is kind of like how the side missions kind of work. Is you have
Okay.
mini dungeons, you can pick up like bounties at like a bounty board, and those will give you like a mission to go get a bounty. But those end up becoming like mini dungeons like once you get into them. So it's kind of a different organization. It's kind of weird to try to associate with any of their games that have come previously, but I really enjoy how it's organized in that sense. But I'm pretty sure I finished the main palace, the main dungeon, and now I'm kind of doing like all the cleanup stuff before the countdown. I think I'm at like 9 days or 8 days until it had to have been done. So now I'm just kind of getting all my I forget what they're called, like the characteristic stats up, trying to get those leveled a little bit. Which I feel like hasn't been too big of an issue, surprisingly. I feel like that was a big issue in Persona 5 for me a lot of the time. I was kind of like gated out of stuff.
Mm.
Um, just due to whatever it was that you had to eat the fucking large burger to I think it was
Oh yeah, for a
personality or
lot of
something.
yeah.
Uh, I feel like it's a whole lot easier to come by in this game, especially because like it's not linked to like how well you do on something a lot of the times. Like you get the same amount, I believe, but you'll get like there's a currency in the game that you can get more or less of depending on how your dialogue choices go or how your
Gotcha.
just choices in general. Because the whole game's high fantasy, so you get what's called mag points, or I think it's magla points. I forget the official name, but it's like the magic currency. It's a numerical currency, and you use that to kind of level up your personas, your archetypes, level up your moves and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, been playing that. A lot of fun so far. Loving it. The story, it keeps unfolding in a good way. I don't feel like it's one of those like traditional JRPGs where stuff just escalates out of nowhere. I feel like it's keeping a good, consistent pace.
Okay.
Um, kind of getting to the point where you're learning more about your squad members, your party members. So it's getting to a really good, interesting pace of play. And I'm at like 35, 40 hours in. Been playing Black Ops 6. A lot of fun, surprisingly. I haven't played a lot of the more recent Black Ops games. I've just kind of played the Modern Warfare ones, and they've been the Modern Warfare 1 remake was excellent. 2019 was really good. 2 and 3 fucking suck upon like review. Really lackluster, especially where they started off with. Both of those games were severe regressions back from Modern Warfare 1, the remake again. Didn't play the more recent Black Ops. I think Black Ops 2 was like the last big one I played. That's mainly because I was in college and we all played the zombies mode. It was kind of like a big thing at the dorms. So this one it was really nice to come to and not have like the tainted memory of what came before because supposedly it's been on a downward trend. But this one's
Mm.
really good, surprisingly. Servers have been stable. I haven't had any tech issues, any crashes or anything like that. It's really weird to play a triple A game and it have like a good steady like build from the get go, especially from like Call of Duty. Like you kind of have that expectation going in, like okay, what's gonna be fucked up? What they fuck up? What's wrong here? Um, but it's all working as intended so far. Haven't played campaign, can't comment on that. Multiplayer solid, been having fun. Zombies solid. Round-based zombies, I guess, is back. Again, haven't played the ones where it wasn't there, so I'm glad it's there because that's why I like. Sorry for the people that had to experience what came before, but it's good. Is it $70 worth? Eh, debatable, but I'm getting my fun out of it. I didn't talk about it, but last week I officially like uh uh I guess I'm getting close to a month sober on Overwatch. I uninstalled
Oh.
and haven't looked back. So if any of the people I played that with bug me to play games, it's like, all right, just get Black Ops 6 or something. I'm not going back to it. Uh, just a lot of that shit that came out with how Overwatch 2 is being handled and all the Jason Schreier shit. I still need to buy that book, by the way.
Yes.
I just decided I'm just fully off that train. I'm just not worried. I'm gonna plug in. I'll be the spectator. So this is a nice like party game that I can play with any homie. I hit my little brother. I was like, "Hey, you playing Black Ops 6?" No, I've been too busy at school. I'm about to be out on break though. All right, dude, hit me up. Adrian, what you been playing? But yeah,
With
no,
his dick.
yeah, that's about it. That's about all I've been playing. So, uh, all I can think of. Yeah, I think that's it.
I mean, I can talk a little bit about the things I plan on playing
Oh,
because
there you
I
go.
have Extra Life I'll be doing.
Oh yeah, what's your
Uh,
schedule?
yeah, so I will be doing what I did last year, which is I'm going to be streaming for 4 days, 4 12-hour days. So from noon to midnight on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I will be streaming gaming.
Okay.
Um, I know that I'm gonna have the partner try out a few games. As we kind of talked about a little bit before on the podcast, I'm gonna have her start up Kentucky Route Zero. I don't know if we'll play through all of it during Extra Life, but I know it's something I at least want her to start to experience. It's a game that even she said she felt like she might vibe with, so kind of curious to see her go through that. Um, I might have her also go through Papers, Please. My partner has an absurdly strong moral compass,
Yeah.
almost cripplingly so. So the idea of her playing Papers, Please is an amusing thought to me. Uh, Beyond that, I always play through some kind of Metroidvania. It's just what I do with Extra Life. It's a good excuse to just binge an entire one straight through. There's a few Toho ones, and I'm probably going to go through Luna Nights and go through that one. That one has been on my to-do list for a while. Honestly, the Toho series in general is one I've been really wanting to kind of really do a deep dive on, and so I'm going to at least start there. I also like to do an FMV game, just because I adore them and I like doing weird shit sometimes. And so I'm gonna go through American Hero and play through that one, that lost and recovered one by the company that shall not be named. Um,
Have you played through Blasphemous yet?
I have not. I've heard amazing things about it
Yeah.
though.
Highly recommend that one if you are looking for a Metroidvania. I haven't played the second one. I've heard the second one's even better, so I need to get on that.
You always like to see when a sequel actually does do a lot better than the first.
Right. Yeah, because there are some that are kind of let down, like Ion Fury, and I forget what the sequel was, but I guess that one was like pretty ass in comparison.
Yeah. And there are a few others that I have like a list of like 50 games that I'm gonna kind of pick through. I never like hard committing to anything because I never know what mood is gonna sway me.
Yeah,
Like last year, I ended up binging the entirety of EDF World Brothers, and that was like a 23-hour experience. So I wasn't expecting to do that, but I ended up doing that last year. But there are some other games that I've been kind of curious about. Angry Foot is one I might play through.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of good things about that. Um, Mad Jack is another one that looks like a lot of fun that I might end up playing through. I know we'll probably inevitably play some Power Wash Simulator because I'm curious about some of the DLC that's come out for it. There's a few other things. I got a hearty list going, and even as I'm staring over at my collection over there, there's some oddities I look forward to trying out soon. And that's one of the things I do appreciate about Extra Life. It's a great excuse to finally just force myself to like bang out parts of my collection,
For
especially with
sure.
my new format. 48 hours of gaming. Even though some of it's taken up by the partner playing through something, or at least playing a co-op experience with her. There's still at minimum at least 20 or so hours that's just me. So it definitely allows me to really carve through the backlog a bit.
For sure.
So in fact, if you have any recommendations for games that are like 4 hours or under, I am open to suggestions.
Hmm, that's a tough one. I'm sure there's some. I have to think of it.
I mean, Adrian is usually a good person to ask for that because that's up his alley.
Right? Yeah, that sounds exactly up his alley.
Does it?
Recommendations for games that are 4 hours and under to potentially bang out during Extra Life.
What kind of mood are you in?
Yes,
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
that's one that's on the list currently as well because it's one I'll probably have the partner go through.
Let's see. Let me think. It's been a minute since I've had a couple of sub 3 hour bangers. Let's see. Twitter. What have you said any already so far?
Yeah, so I've confirmed my schedule. So I'm doing what I did last year, which is doing 4 12-hour days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I'll be streaming 12 hours from noon to midnight.
No, but are there games that you already suggested?
Oh yeah. So probably gonna do Sayonara World Hearts. Probably gonna have the partner at least start Kentucky Route Zero. Probably gonna go through Toho Luna Nights. Probably go back and revisit some of the Power Wash Simulator DLC. American Hero, gonna play through that.
Let me pull up Steam real quick. I feel like I played a lot that were not on Steam though too. It's been a while since I played a short game. I miss them. I miss them dearly.
Fair.
Uh,
Also, probably gonna finish up my run on Princess Maker.
Fair.
See how my delinquent daughter turns out.
Keep talking while I'm doing all this.
All right. Let me actually just pull up the list here because I had a good hearty list. Where's my notes app? There you are. So currently on this, Death Miles 2 is another one that I might go through. Mother Russia Bleeds. I talked about Papers, Please as well as one I might have the partner play through because with her strong moral compass, I feel like that's going to be a painful experience for her. In a similar vein,
The most.
exactly. In a similar vein, I kind of want her to go through Donut County. Think she'd have a lot of fun with that. Cardboard Kings is the one I want to go through. I'm always excited for tabletop RPG, running a card shop kind of simulator. Abzu is a game I've always been mildly curious about, so I might try that.
I don't think you'll like. Did you like Journey?
No.
Then you won't like Abzu.
So she'll probably like Abzu then.
Probably.
So I probably have more games on this list that she would be interested in than I do.
Cocoon's about 5 hours. That's the one from the Limbo guys, or Limbo guy, rather. That one's the puzzle game. Firewatch. Crickets.
He said
I'm
no.
trying to remember what that one is. That's another one of the. Oh yes. That was one of the walking sims that you were really trying to get me to try. Right?
When people regard walking sims, it's usually one and two are interchangeable between Edith Finch and Firewatch for people.
Okay.
I'd say dip into that. I hope you like that one. Like I said, when I first played it, I didn't really care for it, but second playthrough, I actually really liked it. I think you'll have an appreciation for it, especially just the personalities, like the characters you could really sink your teeth into as characters, I think.
Okay.
Let's see what else. We played a lot of these. It's funny, I actually got you to play a lot of all these short games. Go figure. You ever play Unpacking?
Yes. Beautiful game. Really enjoyed it.
Indeed. Ever played Grease, whatever you want to call it?
No. Thank you for reminding me. That is one I've been curious about starting up here.
I think you'd enjoy that. Ever heard of The Room? Not the movie.
No, I don't think
They're
so.
like escape rooms, kind of.
Oh, okay.
They were on iOS. They got ported as a trilogy over to Steam. You might appreciate those.
Okay.
And you ever heard of Before Your Eyes?
No.
That's a good one.
So
That's like really short though. You can play that in like 30 minutes.
right. Before Your Eyes is a I don't know how to say it. It's kind of like a visual novel, like it's kind of just going. But it looks at the webcam, and every time you blink, it skips time forward.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's been on VR to get like a second wind, but it's been solid. I actually have to go through that and play it still, but I liked what I played of it when I was messing around with that for trying to mess around to see if I can get that as a school lesson for some of the kids. Let's see. Let me think of like one or two more really quick. Did you ever get into Oxenfree?
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, we played. Yeah, I'm looking through a lot of these, and we've played a lot of these actually already.
Okay.
Go figure. There's a lot of my games gone by lists. I'm like, can we do this game? Oh, Hypnospace Outlaw.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, I think you'll. I really, really fucking hope you like that game. Did you ever play Titanfall 2?
No.
Banger campaign.
Yep. Agreed.
It's slick ass gameplay, super short, sweet campaign. I think you'd enjoy that.
All right.
Bum bum. I want to play Venba. I've heard good stuff about Venba. Trying to kill the silence.
All right. Well, you are looking for more things. I really need to go get water. My mouth is dehydrated as shit.
While you are quiet, let me leave.
Yeah.
Has David played Stray? I think he has.
Ooh.
Just give David a list of games that he just would fucking hate. Ooh, remember FTL? That was fun. FTL's a good time, but he would hate that.
Hey, Adrian.
Yes.
Got some bad news, buddy.
What?
Your partner has already been notified, but my partner has tested positive for COVID.
Uh-oh.
So y'all might want to test.
Do you have COVID?
Well, that's a very strong likelihood if my partner has it.
Is that why you've been coughing?
That would explain it.
Cool.
I now need to tell my boss that I can't go into work.
Dude, if I catch it, my kids are gonna be actually livid. And that derails a lot. I'll take a test after the podcast. Did you play Stray?
No, I don't have it yet.
Okay.
That's one I was waiting for the PS5 physical, and when it came out, I never got it.
Can I tell you real quick? When you said I have bad news, I thought you were gonna say like the cat's like chewed up your sleep mask, and I was about to be really upset. But COVID's
No. No, luckily they're really good about not like chewing shit up like that.
The COVID that's going around now though is not really the fucked up COVID, which is good.
I mean, it's still not great.
It's not great, but it's not the one that you die for about 2 weeks. It's at least because have you had that one?
Yeah, I got that after a trip to a movie theater. It was not fun.
Cal's
I got that after a trip to the movie theater too. I went to see Rise of Skywalker. I
it
couldn't
was
tell
not
if the mo-
fucking worth it.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a movie making me that fucking like viscerally sick or what was happening because I'd never. So I'm one of those weird people. I just don't get sick besides like food poisoning type shit, you know. So whenever like I didn't know what the flu was, like I don't know how that feels. So I'm sitting here watching the movie. I'm sweating, like I'm just like drenched, and like I took off my hoodie and everything. I'm just burning up, and like I'm just kind of sitting like this, watching the movie. And my wife, she like looks at me and she like grabs me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
This is a
"I
fucking
don't know what's
incredible
going
experience.
on." I was like, "This movie is bullshit. I don't know what's happening. I'm fucking hurting." And we had plans like afterwards, like we can't do any of that. We gotta go home after.
Interesting.
I was like, I'm praying this gets better, but we gotta go.
The one time I caught COVID was last September,
Mm,
and that was I was with someone who just I got a text from work wife saying, "Hey, this person had COVID. Do you want to come over together? We'll make her some green chili stew." And I was like, I was hanging around them most of the day today, and I hugged them. I went to test it. Took 2 tests because I was like, that's not right. next one, I was like, yeah. And I text her back. I'm like, can't. I caught it too. She's like, fuck. I'll make you both stew, I guess. But it wasn't bad. It was like the and here's how you'll know what kind of person I am in a second. But it was fine day 1. Day 2, it was bad. It was like feverish, and then day 3 I was fine. But they recommend you stay home 5 days now. I think it is. I think that's the thing they ask you for now. And so I had to be off that Monday, and I had my first ever panic attack on Monday because I was missing so much work that I was not expecting.
yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. I was like, my heart's beating a lot, and I feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like I should call an ambulance, but instead I'm just gonna go ahead and sleep. If I don't respond to someone, they'll probably check on my body. And then I was like really fucking like freaking out, like bad, and then I woke up. I'm like, huh. Google search like thoughts of death while this, and they're like, that was a panic attack. I'm like,
Your FBI agent's like, what the fuck is going on
Yeah.
with this guy?
bro. Yeah, did you get a text from FBI? Are you okay, bro?
Yeah, you good?
I hope I don't have COVID.
I mean, it's a high probability, if only just because of the fact that, I mean, we only probably got it from one specific event, so you guys probably got it from one specific event.
Fucking near fans, bro.
Oh, dude. There you go. Fucking anime people. Goddamn.
Y'all got fucking lucky and didn't get it when both of us, very well, at least she's confirmed with it. I probably
Has she
have
gone
it.
anywhere since we've hung out?
Nope.
Like not left the house?
She works from home. She doesn't go anywhere. I literally do most of the shopping and everything else. She is a homebody.
So maybe it could have been you. You left a couple times.
With you were there, and
Damn.
it was to drop you off. So the only thing I have done without you guys around was when I went into work this morning, and she definitely didn't get it from me this morning. That shit also takes a couple days to digest in your system.
I mean, like, I'll have some days off, but I don't want to. I've already, like, October's already fucked. Like, I feel so shit.
Good times.
I don't want to test, though. What if I just don't test? It's like Schrodinger's COVID.
Yeah.
You can't have COVID if you don't test for COVID. Except you publicly said it on air, so, like, I can't not do it now.
Start pounding some orange juice, buddy.
My cat's right there. Anyway. Well, look, you're already off for Extra Life, so there you go.
Well, I mean, I was off for
That kinda
a
sucks.
couple charity days, and that has other implications now, unfortunately. But
Like what?
what my partner was getting ready to go through.
Mm,
And now postpone all that.
let's see. And you said my partner was known?
My partner texted your partner.
Yeah. Oh, whatever.
Like, my partner just tested, so it might be a
yeah.
little bit before your partner gets the text
Yeah.
or notices if she's anything like you. But calm down, Arrow. I know.
Tomorrow was Wizard versus something day for school. I want to wear my Harry Potter robe. What the fuck, David?
Sorry.
You can wear your Harry Potter like surgical mask as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
unironically, I'm kind of kicking myself now for not wearing a mask for the trip, but here we are.
YOLO.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's a reason why every Asian culture just does that even before all this shit, anyways.
Anyway, did you guys all talk about what you played?
Yeah, what'd you play?
I'd been still chipping away at Ace Attorney little by little.
Nice.
I like the fifth case a lot, but also I'm just hitting a lot of those. I don't want to say burnout with the series right now because I kind of just barged through a lot of it, but also just every once in a while, like just every so often, there's a case here or there on Ace Attorney where it just feels like the logic is just really just kind of bouncing around, and it feels like you can't connect to a certain dot there. That's kind of where I'm at with episode 5, but I'm not like halfway through. No, I'm like probably like 3/4 of the way through. I'd say.
I remember there being like one really bitch ass fucking clue in fucking case 5 where even if you know the answer to it, it's still like one specific part of the evidence that you have to highlight for. And I remember being really pissed about that.
Hmm. I also
Especially if you're trying not to look at a guide for it, it can get infuriating at parts.
just realized we had a conversation, me and the partner, where she was like, she just got vaccinated recently. I have not.
Oh no.
Yeah, my partner gets the boosters every chance they're available. I do not.
What's the CDC guidelines for COVID now though? I know it changed this year again.
I think it's still recommended at least a week isolation.
Is it still?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, before it was 2 weeks isolation.
It was 2 weeks, but last year it was a week.
Yeah.
I thought
And,
it changed again.
It might just be my work has at least a minimum of 1 week isolation, but I know that's what we fall, but we're also a medical company, so.
Let's see. That's fair. Anyway, yeah, I'm even playing Attorney. What are some of the new stuff we got?
Congratulations to Firewalk. You fucking walked yourselves to the unemployment line.
Woo, dude! What a fucking disaster. This has to be like one of the biggest disasters in video games, but it's getting so it's like shout out to Sony PR for like kind of throwing it under the rug as much as they could right now because like this is a massive disaster that is being not taken as crazy as it really is. I think.
Imagine not even doing what most companies that fail the first time around do, and instead of being like, no, it's okay, we'll go ahead and we'll try to release it on the free-to-play side and try to revive it that way. No, they just gave up. They fucking closed up shop and said, fuck you assholes, we're done.
Yeah, it's so crazy to me. Wasn't it like a $200 million acquisition or something like that for this company?
Yup.
And the fucking
For a
development
game that
costs
was in
like
development for what, 7 years?
it was like a $400 million development.
And that they were bothering to put so much money into promoting that they have at least a whole spotlight in that fucking Amazon show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they were really banking on this being like a Star Wars style like name for Sony. Like they were really banking on this being huge.
I think it was supposed to be like their Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that. It was
Right.
got like that same quirky vibe to it. The retro futurism shit.
And motherfuckers don't understand anything. And man, the willingness to just maybe it's because they don't have the Microsoft level of money, but man, it's wild they were just that willing to immediately be like, nope, we're just washing our hands of all of it. Fuck it.
Yeah, the man, like it's so astounding, and it really Sony's really been like solid as PS4 obviously, right? And PS5 they don't really they've had to do fuck all. Like all they had to do was just like not fuck up, and they win, right? Like that's kind of like if Sony fucks up major like and it's and I'm kind of of the mind that I don't think it's possible for Microsoft to ever win unless Sony does something absolutely like has to like actively try to fuck themselves over because right, like I
And
think
it's crazy that they are almost. I feel like they're almost doing that right now, right? Because they're constantly getting criticized, not only for this, but for
you
like,
think, but here's the
oh,
caveat
Horizon. Yeah,
that I heard, and once I realized this, I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Is that I feel like console wars are kind of just done now because game ownership is locked,
Yeah.
right? Like the Xbox One PS4 generation was so dire that we didn't even realize that it's like whoever won that one had all this digital game ownership that just carries over from now on. So like, why would you go from PS4 to Xbox Series when you have all your games locked on the PlayStation Marketplace, right? Especially with all the digital stuff going up, that's so locked. So at this point, like, it has to be something so dire and so terrible to really fuck themselves over to not to have people sacrifice their entire library to go to that. And even that, we've I mean, I wonder now. I wonder like in this kind of world, what if that PSN hacking happened now? I wonder how that would be taken, right? Because the PSN hacking happened at a big time, right? But like gaming wasn't as massive as it is now. So I wonder where that would have gone. Because I mean, I'm kind of surprised still that Sony bounced back from that with a here's a couple or here's a couple PSP and Vita games, and here's free PS Plus. Sorry about that, and move the fuck on. But
right.
it's kind of like yeah, they have to do so much. But I say that because their acquisition game this fucking generation's been trash. Bungie is not a
Well,
good buy.
it's Bungie is should have been a good buy, and I think it really comes down to
Marathons on Marathon. You can officially wishlist on Steam, and I think on the different stores too.
and you can play through the classics. They're all updated and free on Steam.
True.
I asked
But
Dave at the beginning, "Are you sick?" No.
well,
All looking like
apparently
it.
that was a lie. I thought I was just still recovering from allergies because my allergies got fucked over this trip because fucking perfumes and shit like that really fuck with me. Being trapped in a hotel full of just constant
COVID.
perfume and cologne usage. Yeah, that too,
Trapped in a
probably.
hotel full of COVID.
Yeah.
Um, hey, you know who was smart though? The guy who wore that giant Emil mask. I'm sure he was genuinely protected from
Sure,
COVID.
yeah, I'm sure he was fine.
That's sick.
Uh, but yeah, no, their acquisition game has been still trash though. Because yeah, even though Bungie's still selling stuff, like they're not making that money back for a long time still.
Only that, but it's kind of one of
I'll be
those
back.
weird things, yeah, where even beyond just the making their money back for acquisitions, Sony hasn't really just put out much in general.
Bunch of remakes.
Yeah, they've been relying on remakes and the remakes of the same fucking games they keep remaking. Like, truly, in this fucking wild sea of remakes, where's Infamous?
Where is just like do
Killzone?
Uncharted for PS5? Do like all the Uncharted games,
Do
remake
a
them.
true fuck. Bring the PS Vita games on over. Bring those in a new collection.
Yep.
Uh
Supposedly, there's a God of War collection that's on the horizon. A lot of people have leaked it. It's gonna be, I guess their section in it. They're calling it like the Greek something. There's like an actual naming, and it's supposed to have like all the games, like PSP and the console games.
all right, that's cool. I dig that. Um but I mean, like,
Supposedly,
fuck.
man.
Where's Ratchet and Clank?
Right?
Where's
Yeah,
fucking
that's a
Sly Cooper?
deep wells to pull from, but they refuse to. Yeah, and I
Fu-
looked up Ape Escape is Sony. That's not a co-owned thing with Konami. That was just for the VR levels.
Also, again, Twisted Metal is
Yeah.
successful enough for 2 seasons on fucking Peacock. Where the fuck are those games? You have your stupid ass like emulated on PlayStation. Why aren't the classics on there at least?
Yeah, and that's what was crazy, right? Because from that leak we got, supposedly there was a Twisted Metal live service game in the works that got canned. So
Which I
it was
mean, I'll take that. That's a bit of a blessing, honestly. But
right, exactly. So it makes me wonder. It's like, so they're thinking about it, like in some context over there. Like, why is it not just translating to, hey, let's make a game, an actual game?
because again, I have to understand the disconnect because it wasn't that long ago that I think it was the fucking CEO was like, oh, we don't have enough properties that we can branch into other media.
Yeah.
One, what the fuck crack are you smoking? You have so many fucking properties you can do
Yeah.
that with. But then two, it also, what do you mean you don't have properties? And three, that's not how you win the gaming market. And maybe that's it. Maybe because Sony truly is a multimedia company, because they also have, Sony Pictures and everything. Maybe that's where the division comes in. Is Nintendo has always been a gaming company. Microsoft is predominantly a computer company
Yeah.
that does games, and Sony is a tech company in general, multifaceted tech company that also just happens to do games. So maybe that's part of it is Sony's business model has stopped caring about the games per se, but it's successful enough that it's like, well, it kind of keeps itself afloat, so we'll keep investing just enough to let it keep staying afloat. But we need it to also funnel and fuel these other industries we have. But at the same time, like, it's the same issue I have with Microsoft. You have enough studios under your belt that you can be perpetually generating content. And fucking, again, if you're going to commit to all this remake bullshit, fucking commit to all this remake bullshit. Or at the very least, give us fucking Square Enix has the right idea. Where say what you will about the laziness and sometimes not the greatest HD ports that they do of their fucking games, at least Square Enix is doing it. Fucking Front Mission 1 through 3 eventually will all be on modern platforms. Fucking, and for Front Mission 2, it's the first time that game's even ever been in English, and here we go. Fucking Live Alive, we've gotten for the first time officially in English. Fucking Romancing Saga, I was just showing off. Like, Square is fucking knocking it out of the park with just regurgitating its fucking libraries. Capcom, who weirdly used to be the kings of regurgitating their library, have been like doing these hyper focused, higher quality ones where it's like, here's all our fighting game collections, here's all our Street Fighter, fucking here's Marvel, baby! We got Marvel, baby! Also, Capcom, where the fuck's our Breath of Fire collection? When the fuck are we finally getting that? Why do companies weirdly ignore certain parts of their IP catalog? I will never understand it. To this day, it bothers me that Capcom forgets they own fucking Breath of Fire. But here we are. That's kind of my point. And also, it's a weird thing where I wonder if maybe Sony just gives their studios too much leniency because not Zipper, but Insomniac has already said that they're done with, or not, goddamn, not Insomniac either. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna just start going through all of Sony
Guerrilla?
Studios. Yes, Gorilla just recently said like they're done with Killzone. They're never touching Killzone again. One, why? Fucking at least give us a collection. Give us a Killzone collection. Here you go. All don't even I don't you know what? As much as I would love the multiplayer to work, at least give us all the campaigns. Here is the Killzone story thus far. Give us all the campaigns from all the Killzones and a nice little bundle collection on PS5. Bam, there you go. Then don't touch it. Fine. You don't want to touch it anymore? At least give us the story, because when we go into PS6 and all that, PS5 collection will carry on over. And that's what I'm still not understanding. Like the PS4, Xbox One era was phenomenal for starting to get a lot of those collections because they then carried into the PS5 and series. But we need to start getting that even more now for going into the 6. Although I still think it's too soon for the next gen. I still think we could wait honestly another 4 or 5 years and be fine. But I mean, still to this day, brand new fucking PS4 games are being released into what is technically approaching the end of this current gen cycle. Weird to fucking think about, but
Yeah, and a lot of it's weird, right? Because like if Gorilla comes out and they're like, "Hey guys, we don't want to make Killzone anymore. We're past that. We're not doing that anymore." why the fuck isn't Sony saying, okay, well then I'm gonna take this and give it to these people? Like, because I'm pretty sure Gorilla's a Sony owned studio, right? So why are they not just yoinking the IP and just keeping it alive? Like, who gives a fuck if Gorilla doesn't want to work on it anymore? Let them work on Horizon. Let them toil away at that.
Exactly. And that's the same thing with Microsoft. Like, again, Banjo Kazooie, you had the perfect time with his reveal in Smash to finally fucking do something with that character again. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Still nothing. And, like, you have so many amazing IPs under your belt. Why are you not just shuffling around studios? Be like, hey, do you want to do a take? Or fuck, why? Better question, why even give them an option? Just be like, hey, and I've talked about this before on the podcast. It would be, in my brain, the smart thing to do. To be like, all right, all y'all studios, you get to do one game you want to do, but before that, you first have to do a contractually obligated game. All of you are going to have to work on an IP. You know what? Here's a list of all RPs. Y'all can fight over one, but you all have to at least work on one. Then once you get the contracted IP out of the way, go and do a weird, cool, whatever you want to do. And then when you're done that, perfect. We're going to come back to the board, to the contractually obligated. Maybe some of the ones you worked on
Come
when you're
spin
doing
the
weird,
wheel.
yeah, just, it should be a constant cycle.
Yeah.
And they should split up to where it's like, okay, half of you are working on more larger games that are going to be the usual for nowadays, 4 or 5 year development cycle. But then the other half of you, y'all are doing small shit. That's all you do. You work on something that takes you maybe a year, absolutely at the most 2 tops to get done. And just fucking go make weird little experiences. Because that's the thing. As much as Nintendo is a shit fucking company and one of the most anti-consumer cucks out there, they are phenomenal at striking that balance of always having something coming out, but balancing it between a wave of stuff that clearly took them so many years to make, but then also a wave of games where it's like, yeah, no, they bang it out in like a year. Here you go. Enjoy a fun little tight experience.
Right.
And how is it that Nintendo can do that and just roll the fucking game dev machine when Microsoft, who's one of the largest companies in the fucking world, can't do that, and yet they own 30 development studios?
Right. And I kind of feel like I'm in a abusive relationship at this point because I'm like, oh, but these games coming out next year look so good, right? Right? Like half past midnight or whatever it is. That's such cool. Like
Yes.
the animation's so cool. It looks good, right? And then like I remember I said the same thing about the generation of games before that. It's like, oh, Starfield looks great. Oh, Outer Wilds, Outer Worlds looks so great. Blah 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 blah. So it's just kind of I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself and I'm starting to realize that pattern that we're in. So it's one of those things I really need to be blown away, or else it's kind of like, what are we doing here? Because
Which
we're not.
leads me into my next story because I don't think Adrian's coming back. I think he's
Yeah.
dead now.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Larian Studio. You know what? At this point, I think Larian has been so based over the last few years that I think it balances out me not wanting to give anything WotC money, and I'm gonna finally cave in, pick up Baldur's Gate 3.
Telling you, dude, it's worth it. I really enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3.
Because they had some choice words for Ubisoft this past couple days. Did you see this?
No, I haven't. What's up?
So Ubisoft also closed down the studio behind Prince of Persia: Lost Crown.
Yeah, I've seen that part.
Which is unfortunate because, again, a game they spent no time or money really advertising or building up,
Right.
was finally a breath of fresh air to the fucking franchise. It gave us a really cool Metroidvania. I didn't buy it out of principle because I don't want to give Ubisoft money.
I feel bad. I need to go find it secondhand now if I can.
I think I'm going to have to do that too because it actually was a neat looking new take. And again, as I said earlier, I'm a sucker for Metroidvanias.
Same.
I want to go experience that. So I'm going to have to go find a used copy of that before it starts to become hard to find.
Exactly. That's what I'm worried about now.
But yeah, Ubisoft went ahead and said, nah, fuck it. It was unsuccessful. Fuck this entire studio and yeeted it. Larian said, "Hey, maybe you as a company should start focusing on actually creating realistic development cycles and actually better supporting your games, or maybe your entire organization should just be in the unemployment line."
Yeah, and that's one of those things too, like with this Firewalk studio closing, regardless of like what you feel about the game, it's really unfortunate that we live in a world where like studios aren't allowed to fail, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can't have like a bad product or else that's it. If you don't make something that's like a grand slam, then your company's out to just die. Essentially, there's a lot of times when there's a game that's moderately successful and it's still like the company still has to go under. What's that game? Witch with Guns or Wizard with a Gun?
Yeah.
That's a one of those companies where the game was moderately successful. I mean, they're with Devolver,
Yeah.
I think. Um, and they still had to close up shop. They just couldn't get production through on their next game or whatever they're working on.
Well, fucking, even when you win Game of the Year, it's still not enough to prevent you from closing down. The
Yeah,
wildest fucking thing, literally, fucking accolades from everywhere, with Hi-Fi Rush, and the
exactly. Yeah.
audacity of that's still not enough to save you. To literally create a critically acclaimed game, that is not enough to save you from getting the fucking axe. If releasing a fucking Game of the Year contender in the fucking year of Game of the Year contenders that fucking were last year is still not enough to prevent your studio from getting the axe, what the fuck is there that can?
Right. Exactly.
Again, we have Square Enix with their weird astronomical fucking views on things where it's like, this only sold 7 million copies. That undersold. We're not about that anymore. In what fucking world? There are so many games out there. They're like, hey, we just sold 1 million copies. Like, that's a massive thing for us. Whoa, that's wild. And I get it. And again, this goes into the whole conversation of like budgets for games are so hyperinflated. Well, fucking stop it.
Yeah. Don't do that.
No one is asking for it. Like, full stop. This fucking weird rush for the hyper realism and all this other shit has been one of the worst fucking things to happen to gaming. And especially as a Final Fantasy fan, where we're talking about Square, it's been fucking heinous. Final Fantasy 15, I fucking tried to play that game. I want to eventually finish it just because of the fact that, again, I love me some Final Fantasy, even when it's rough. But like all the development hell that game went through fucking shows. And as much as Final Fantasy 16 seems to be a fucking step in the right direction with the team that was behind it, it still lost a lot of its charm. It still lost a lot of kind of what made Final Fantasy. There's been like this huge shift away from magic and for really getting into all that because you're not playing a black mage in these games. They're not geared towards spellcasters. They're geared towards melee fest where you can occasionally throw out a spell. And that takes out literally fucking 3/4 of the entire play style of Final Fantasy. And Square Enix's whole, fucking turn base is so in the past and no one really cares about that style anymore is fucking wild to me.
That's why I'm really hopeful and excited for like how Atlas and was it Project Zero, Team Zero, how they're pushing
Yeah.
stuff forward with how Metaphor's doing. There's that new game coming out, that French one, Claire Obscure or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which I fucking hilarious fucking way to announce their French dub. Did you see that?
no, I seen their English dub cast announced. It looks fucking insane.
So they did an announcement for their French dub called the Baguette trailer. And all the characters are wearing berets and all their weapons are baguettes.
That's hilarious.
And there was also the way they confirmed that outfits for all the characters can be unlocked in the game was in that trailer.
That's so cool. Yeah, so I'm really hoping with how like we have games popping up like that, how Like a Dragon's kind of committed itself to that as well. I'm really hoping that becomes more in vogue. Like people realize, hey, this isn't an outdated thing. This is just
Yeah.
another style of mechanic. We can use this and improve on it. It's not something that can be looked at as rusty, as long as we don't let it be looked at like that.
Exactly. And I'm not even saying like I want Final Fantasy to only ever be that. I do think that part of what made the franchise so interesting is its willingness to shake things up every now and then. But it, the last time Final Fantasy was a proper fucking turn-based RPG was fucking Final.
Oh no.
It was one of the only things I ever bought on their launcher, and
Oh, in the
well,
past,
fuck
and
me.
over-
Last time Final Fantasy
Not a good first impression.
All right.
was
So
a
can you hear me?
proper fucking
Yeah.
turn-based RPG.
Okay.
Was fucking Final.
Weird. All right. There's no feedback on here for me. I hate that.
It kind of like tripped out there for you, like video
Yeah.
wise there for a second.
Unfortunately, it killed your audio for like a minute or two until I came back for a second.
Well,
And there's no
Womp womp.
feedback, which is killing me right now. Let me check this really quick. Wavelength, please. Which device? Oh, that might be it. All right. Test. No, still
Test,
you guys.
test.
Yes, to
Yep,
test.
yep.
Yeah, you guys can hear me, but I can't hear myself,
Yeah.
which is really annoying.
Oh no.
Oh wait, is it because of this? No, never mind. I don't know. Whatever. I can hear myself because I'm not using big headphones. I had to dip to take this COVID test because I'm gonna freak out if I have that because I gotta let everyone know ASAP.
Where you went?
Yeah. Keep in mind though, you can sometimes take it and it still takes another day or two to digest. It's
Yeah, if
different
it
for
says no,
everyone.
that's fantastic. I'll just wear a mask tomorrow and I can prepare everyone for what's gonna happen.
Fair.
Otherwise, like, because we're like literally about to wrap up a video project for everyone, and they've like planned out their days.
What a fucking dumb world. Do you have any other thoughts on the studio closures that have been going on, Adrian?
No, I think that's whoever. Or I think Herman Holtz was behind all that, and dude's an idiot.
He's been making a lot of questionable decisions here lately, hasn't he? Because I feel
Yeah,
like
a
there's
lot.
something else that he came under fire for as well.
Bungie.
Yeah.
He's made all the acquisitions this generation, which have been ass. So shout out to him. Let's see. Well, what was next on the news?
I think we were kind of struggling to find news.
Yeah, I think we're searching.
Let's see. There's been more Pokemon leaks. Little by little, it's kind of still dwindling out there.
I was about to say Pokemon trading card game is officially available. The Pocket for mobile.
Oh, not Shop
Oh
Simulator.
Yeah.
If Shop
My
Simulator.
buddy said that he officially beat Shop Simulator.
Yeah, that's about where I was at. I think too. It has an update, so maybe we'll see. I guess I have time. Actually, I didn't even check. I think I gotta check in like 10 minutes. Oops. Let me check the Reddit here in a second. Let me just put this timer up.
Oh, yeah, I just got the notification on my phone too. Because I did the for Pokemon TCG Pocket. I did the pre-registration for it for
Hell
whenever
yeah.
it come out.
I still haven't gotten
I
an app for
knew
that.
I get them all the time on YouTube now. Like I'll get them like after a video because they're long ads. Like they play for like several minutes because it's like running you through like you can do this in the game type thing.
Oh, one of the last few Wii U vestiges have made a push for Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming to Switch.
Yes, which is weird. Why just shadow drop it out of fucking nowhere?
Because the Switch 2 is going to be at least released like the week afterwards, probably.
Well, like there's no
Launch
this
game.
obviously had to have been in development for a while now. Like, why not in the last direct or something?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm just glad it's happening, and I think at this point, what's even on the Wii U like of notable that's not trash like Devil's Third?
The HD Zeldas.
Yes, actually, that's what it was. I hope those somehow make it off. They have to. I'd be shocked if they
And
didn't.
hopefully one day, Devil's
how's
Third will
Wind
also be
Waker
free.
not on Switch yet? What the fuck?
I don't know. They would have sold really good too.
Unironically, I think that's what we might see probably for Switch 2, as I think that's when we start seeing because I think next cycle we'll have Zelda's like 40th anniversary or something like that.
Well, it goes back to what we were saying about Sony, right? Like there's so many deep wells that they can pull from and just do like a trilogy, like, hey, here's a 3-pack of whatever game we were just talking about. Here's a 3-pack of Metroid games. Here's a 3-pack of Zelda games.
A flying
Kinda
Eevee
like what they did
type
with
was
Mario.
designed.
What?
Yeah,
Was there a Dragon Eevee?
a flying
Nope.
Eevee
What about
evolution was
Bug
planned for
Eevee?
Gen 7.
Was there Bug Eevee?
What the fuck?
You know, it's interesting. All the evolutions back before the special physical split, every single evolution that has come out has been special aligned, except the only one that's missing is Dragon. So a lot of people did theorize that if they ever did another evolution at this point, it would be
No.
Dragon just to finish off the
No,
set.
we don't have Rock.
Wait. That's physical. Wouldn't
Oh, wait. Sorry. What was the beginning? You
it?
said
Special? I think you
Yeah,
said
Dragons
special.
in older gens were physical move or special moves.
Ghost. Is that
Yeah, we don't
Espeon?
have Ghost.
No,
No,
Ghost
Alright,
was physical.
alright,
Dark
alright.
was special. Every evolution falls into the special Takara types.
Yeah, I'm just trying to prove you wrong by thinking with my big brain here, though.
I looked it up recently because when I was playing through Pokemon Coliseum,
Wait, he
I had
let
to.
Kel's cook. Let Kel's cook.
All right, I'll let Kels cook.
No, no, you're good. No, that's interesting though. I never thought of it like that. That's cool, but that does make me want some like a rock or a steel evolution now. That'd be so cool.
I mean, truly, there's no reason why we don't have an evolution of every type. Should have just kept introducing them every gen until we got all caught up.
Why that could have been like the perfect like split for the different versions nowadays too. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too many ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that as if they have the competency to put them in the game in the first
Yeah,
place.
Yeah, they're too busy over there gooning
I look at
in
the-
their cuticles.
I type in physical versus special types in Pokemon. The top answer is it gives those ones. That says an easy way to remember them is that there's an evolution for every special type except Dragon. But let me read this real quick because they had a whole blurb with this. It says after being told that the dragon or the design was too similar to design created by a fan, it was decided that the design cost would be very high. If there's a game where flying Eevee is the main character or a high value in the game, then it's not worth the cost. We can make that decision, but it's not the case at the moment. We will put it on hold until we can determine the importance of that new Pokemon. So a fan fucking ruined it.
No.
Good shit, fan arts. God damn it.
Why became nice things.
Did you see that also got leaked that Pokemon Z was actually real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that too.
Which we knew about for a long time. This is just finally having confirmation of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's weird that's the one year that we missed a Pokemon game.
Sun and Moon had a scrap mode where you could dress up your Pokemon.
Which makes sense because that's left over from dressing up the Pikachu.
Sun and Moon has scrapped raid mechanic.
Then they kind of brought it back with the other ones with Dynamax, right?
Yeah.
Pikachu and Raichu were originally planning to have a fire type regional form.
That's sick.
That'd been cool.
That'd be sweet.
I think there's supposed to be another like pre-evolution as well at one point.
You know, honestly, what I really would I say this as if Game Freak actually gives a shit, but I would really like to see a shake-up to a fucking Pokemon entry, where instead of the usual fire, fucking grass and water starters, we got another trinity of starters just to fucking have something different.
Yeah. No, that'd be sick. I always thought it'd be cool, like if you had Eevee, start off with Eevee, and you can kind of choose your path.
Hell yeah, or like fucking give us like fucking fairy dark or in fighting or some shit like that.
Mm. So they show off the design or the thing for the customizable gyms.
That's the one that I'm fucking the most pissed about.
That could have been cool. What was
Yeah.
that for? Like Sun and Moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you could basically create a gym and then play, basically host it against other people online. And as you battled other players, you could save the battled teams to be trainers in your gym.
This is
Right.
interesting.
So it was supposed to be like your hidden hideaway fortress thing, right?
Yep.
The
Yeah.
official timeline for Pokemon games was released.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
leaked. So the original year is red, blue, green, yellow, ruby, sapphire, and emerald. 3 years later is gold, silver, crystal. Quote unquote, a little later is diamond, pearl, and platinum. And then 10 years after diamond, pearl, and platinum was black and white. Interesting.
And then, of course, the remakes are all in their own timeline.
No, I put fire red and all that stuff in there too.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I'm assuming it still pushed that like, it evenly marks. I think what you're saying. It the way the timeline doesn't account for that, but what you're saying is correct. I'm sure.
Do you play as Red in Fire Red? I can't remember.
No, you play as Fire Red.
Got me.
Sadly, I'm not joking. Every protagonist is always named after the game that they're from.
Right.
X.
Because that's the whole thing, is that with the remakes, starting with Fire Red, Leaf Green, they are basically
they
a
have their names, right? Or is it just the alternate version? Is it just the lady versions that have names?
No, they all are named after the games, and then the manga sticks with that, but then they have regular names that are used in the anime.
Oh. But like Red is just always Red, like regardless. Like he doesn't have an alternate name, right?
He technically is alternate name Ash.
Oh, okay.
And then because the anime serves as like the kind of host where the alternate names are, but the games and the manga all just literally call them by what version it is.
Gotcha. I always assumed Red was just another precursor to Ash and our protagonist in the game.
Gotcha.
Did you see that Mimikyu's was shown for the first time when he looks underneath the disguise?
Oh
No.
gross, no.
Yeah, it's up there now. It's a cute little blob.
Gross.
Ew, that's disgusting.
Put it back on.
Pokemon is planning a physical event alongside Worlds 2026, catering more into esports.
Which that does make sense for some of the other things that have been going on with Pokemon in the competitive scene. Because they've done a lot to, as much as I hate how the newest games function in terms of just general playability, they've done a lot to really make sure that the competitive scene has as many tools as possible. It still sucks that you have to buy DLC to get there, but it's the fucking monkey paw situation where I'd actually almost wish it was like the older gens where it's like, well, buy the alternate new version that has all the shit in there because at least then it's a fucking brand new physical thing. But they've done a lot to try to make sure most Pokemon are now available again.
I feel like Pokemon. I feel like at this point the leak's out. I feel like and this is me being a not CEO person, right? But I feel like if everything's
Okay.
out, a not CEO, right?
Yeah.
But like in my mind, I'm like I would probably just want to jump ahead of these leaks and make a really formal like Pokemon that like almost like a database, make it look nice, and get people to go to your website, right?
Well, we know how game companies feel about databases with data, so
Right, but like I mean, like it's like, what do you do, right? Do you just stand there and let them just like leak everything on their own and get all that traffic, or do you try to make something of nothing? You know?
no, you try to sue them into stopping it.
And that's why I'm not a CEO. All right, I'm gonna check see how COVID.
All right,
This
good
guy.
times. I, for one, welcome my working from home for this week because just because I'm sick, I don't get time off because all my work can be done remotely.
That's what you got that brand new laptop for, right?
True. And if it's bad enough, I probably will just tell my boss I need to like actually take a day off or two. But
Right. I need to
we'll see
recover.
how tomorrow looks. It kind of makes sense because today I struggled to fucking stay hydrated. I had like fucking 5 of these today, and I'm like, I'm normally like pissing fountains by now. Why am I not pissing fountains, and why do I still feel like I need more water? It all makes more sense, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Sad day.
All right, I am successfully negative. I will test again, obviously, but
But you at least now got time to go ahead and mask up and warn folks.
I'm gonna mask the fuck
Point.
up. I'm gonna mask the fuck up tomorrow and just be like, all right, guys, prepare for this fucking shenanigans that's about to happen probably, and that's fine. If I can make it through tomorrow, that's fine. I'll deal with the rest of that. But I would have fucking panicked. Um. Anyway. Um. Yes, the Pokemon thing. That's it. Was there anything else? I was gonna glimpse through real quick. Shouts to Sonic and Shadow Generations apparently doing well. I think I want to try that game for sure.
Also, shout outs to the weird Sonic furries for being pissed for the censorship in the game. You can't see
Don't-
Rogue's titties. You don't get the hot bat titties.
This woke mindset's pissing me off.
Can't keep getting away with this, dude. Has to be stopped.
Did you play the Alan Wake DLC?
I have not. No, I need to go pick it up on physical so I can play it.
Maybe I do that if I have COVID.
Now you're kind of
Dude,
wishing for it, like,
you
ah,
need to
fuck,
finish
give me
No,
time off.
no, I need to get through tomorrow. If I can get through tomorrow, I can like fortify everyone and be like, all right, guys, let's push through and just get done. That's fine. And then afterwards, I'll plan for extra days off, which I don't want to take off, but like that as much as I feel guilty about it though, it's like I'm gonna fuck everyone over more by having COVID and being around everyone. So it's
Fair.
what I need to do. But I'll let everyone know, hey, friend has COVID. It's looking possible. I tested negative, but just in case. But yeah, I guess I'll do that.
Yeah, otherwise than that, I'm not really.
That Prince of Persia team disbanded, but it just seemed like they kind of just divvied off in other teams.
I hope that's what it was.
That's what the studio had said, I think, or something like that. But or Ubisoft maybe even, but I mean that's obviously PR after that point, right?
Right.
I don't understand Ubisoft. Okay, hold up, real quick. This last thing and we're out. Do you guys remember way back when? I remember this because specifically Gore was always bitching about it because, to be fair, he was right. It was always dumb that Ubisoft always held the Beyond Good and Evil 2 above the fans' heads by saying buy a Rayman and we'll get this thing going.
Right.
Yes.
I'm
And
looking,
full agree. That's fucking absolutely stupid.
right. But then I'm looking and they had a mention where a Rayman remake development bolstered by former Prince of Persia team, meaning that there's some. I don't understand this weird like cross pollination that they have so much with that. It's so weird to me. Especially with Rayman, it's like, hey, if this team does well, then this team then they'll do this. If this thing happens, then they'll go to Rayman. I don't fucking know. Also, what the fuck's happening with Beyond Good and Evil 2? What's the last thing that happened? Wasn't there something that happened like this year?
I think.
Well, they did
supposedly it was, like,
confirm that.
undergoing
Don't
a
worry,
soft
it's still
reboot
coming.
or
We
something.
promise.
Yeah.
I don't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when the HD update remake whatever got announced that Limited Run's doing, they
Oh, yeah, there was new
they had
content.
like a little
Oh, what the fuck? This Oh, this is news this week. Hold up. All right, news this week. Beyond Good and Evil 2 gets new creative director as veteran designer Fawzi Mesmar takes the reins of long-delayed sequel. This happened October 23rd, 2024.
All right.
Wow.
I just willed that shit into existence, I guess.
Man, that's such a thankless job. Imagine coming onto this game like years and years into production. It's at like a production that is standstill at this point. That's such a like thankless position to be in because it's I just feel like I don't know.
That's what Joe Staten did for Halo Infinite.
Right, and that turned out great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now he just lost his job at Netflix as well. That's something that we hadn't talked about.
Yeah, the Netflix just shut down that entire studio. They have other things going, but yeah, that fucked off and did nothing. I feel like they never advertised anything about that, which is like interesting because
Well-
it was a cool concept. Go ahead.
That one was supposed to specifically be for their AAA game,
And
which they never did anything with it, so we don't know what the fuck that means. So
because these companies keep thinking AAA game, okay, that's fine. That's like we can do that, right? Oh wait, it takes 7 years to develop that. Oh,
well, today's notions of what that is exactly. They're thinking it's like a Assassin's Creed, like Horizon, Last of Us type of ordeal.
well, they're probably thinking it's like a 2-year turnaround
Right.
because you see like Call of
Or-
Duty come out
or
every
better-
other or every year, right? You know they think it's quick, but
That or they're in the movie business. I mean, it's one of those things you can literally shoot a movie in under a year and have it through production, like depending on how shitty you want it and how much like special effects intensive
Yeah,
it
like
is.
that Winnie the Pooh horror movie that was like, bloop, it's out. Oh, here's sequel out. Boop.
Or or like even there's like that new one coming out, Red One or whatever. It's like a Dwayne Johnson like
Yeah.
Netflix original movie, and
Yeah,
it
the
looks
Christmas
like a
one. I'm not gonna
Netflix.
lie, that actually kind of looks so stupid. It looks fun.
Exactly, and it looks like a Netflix ass movie, and you're like, okay, this is what they're making. So they're probably making this quick, pumping it out, getting it in between these people's schedules as they like are shooting other shit. So they probably think they can just do the same thing with a game when it's a completely different ball game.
Kind of like how, you know, when you see a new Adam Sandler movie, it's like, ah, the man needed a vacation.
Right, exactly. Where was the shot at? Where did they think in the credits?
All right, is that about
Thank
it?
you to the wonderful state of Georgia. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Any last words? Don't ever give David moxie. He will fucking drop that shit all over the floor and blame no one.
And take no blame.
Yeah, he takes no blame and shifts no blame,
Fuck
takes
the
no blame.
police.
Did you ever ask your boss if they have more?
No, I forgot about that. I will ask next time I see him.
Next week. All right. David, shout out your
Oh,
extra
you
life.
coughed.
Huh?
I've been coughing, but hey, I'm negative. Fuck off.
No. Oh no.
David, shout out your extra life. Where you at?
Oh yeah, Durandal Joyu on Twitter and everywhere else.
God, your SEO sucks because no one knows how to fucking spell
No,
that.
literally, you don't. The whole point of SEO is it's unique and identifiable.
But
that is literally the whole point of SEO.
Phonically, to your American audience.
But that's phonics has nothing to do with SEO.
If they type in "joy
You keep using that word. That it does not mean what you think it means.
they type in "joy you" the way they spell, you're not gonna be found on the algorithm.
the whole point of SEO is its unique identity. If you correctly look for Durandal Joyu, there is only one. You are only finding my shit. That is the whole point of SEO.
If you correctly search for it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let's fuck it.
No,
Let's see what happens when we incorrectly.
I just searched it
Durandal
up, and
Joy.
it's the Destiny lore Reddit.
Yeah, so if you misspell it, a lot of fucking sword lore and shit, which makes sense, is where I fucking stole it from his 2 legendary swords. I'm coming up with my shit. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you.
No, I'm spelling it right. I think it's putting you up top for sure, just because you've searched it. You're on there. You're on the front page, but you're also not in the top. Your Twitter is third, underneath a bunch of Reddit posts and what is this? EDEAS orphans.proboards.com. Then there's your Twitter, and then historical.net. There's Wikipedia. There's a TikTok, and is that all you would have on there, or is there something else that you'd be expecting up here?
That's about it, really.
Your YouTube?
My link tree comes up as the third one for me, which leads to everything else.
On Google?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, it's not anywhere for me. Well, no, wait, you typed it all one word though, right?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. If I type in all one word and click no, I meant to spell this. I meant to spell it this way. Then yes. I still think it's terrible for your American audience to have a French word in there.
They're both French words.
Okay, I think it's terrible for your American audience to have French words.
It's literally spelled out. If anyone's physically watching this, it's literally spelled out.
Sure.
You can also find us by our team name, which is Pocket Trainwreck. Go shout there. But anyways,
how's Vane Zyler been?
I don't know. I don't fucking use that name. That name's dead to me.
See, if I type in Vade Zyler, you're actually the first YouTube thing that pops up under the old podcast way back when. Palatine's Army, episode 20, Roast of Vane Zyler.
Hell yeah. I purposefully just don't do anything at all with my old
Hey,
fucking handles.
what? Oh, never mind. Hold on. What the fuck is this? Okay. What the fuck? The third or no, the fourth. Oh, this will be a fun flash and pass for you for real quick. Okay, first one's that episode. Second one is Yu-Gi-Oh Card Maker. Third is your top pay on N4G. Remember when you had the yellow light error?
Oh yeah.
And then the fifth, which made me laugh, is I don't know what is Radaris.
That is an aggregation thing. So this is kind of a neat thing. I found out Zyler is a legitimate family name. Because I actually had a family reach out to me, be like, we didn't know we had a long lost family member. I'm like, I don't know. That's not my real name.
Yeah.
So there's a legitimate Zyler family out there, which is part of the reason I stopped using that handles, because I don't want anything that actually feels like a real name. And also it's linked to a lot of old cringe shit that I'm just like, that's dead to me. Don't care.
We all had to rename. I get that, but it made me laugh because it says David Zyler, and as David, quote unquote, your full name, co-host of the web fiction podcast Around the Campfire, teams up with a few ARG enthusiasts, Dalton as well as Sid, and then I didn't read the rest of it. That's
Good times.
That's a yesteryear issue. All right, that's the podcast. Yeah, go check out David. Do some kid saving in the weekend. Give him some extra well wishes because they're going to be struggling to get through that. Hopefully not too bad, but it'll be a ride for sure. Send your prayers to me. I hope I'm perfect, please.
And that spirit bomb energy.
Yeah, I just need to make it to tomorrow. I don't give a shit afterwards. It's fine. With that, that's it.
Hell yeah.
All right. Goodbye, stream.
Goodbye.